All right, True Seeker. I do believe we're live, but it looks like we're having some technical difficulties because I cannot hear anything on my end. I don't hear any commercials, any introduction. It's just silence over here. But I am going to assume that we are on the air. And, hmm. Well, something might be wrong because it should show my face here. But anyway, we're going to go on with the show as if everything was perfect. Again, it is Wednesday night, April 28th, 2021, and this is the Gematria Effect, and I'm Zachary K. Hubbard. And some nights on this radio program, there are some technical difficulties, like I'm not hearing the sounds that I'm supposed to hear, but we will survive anyway. Sweet lady here in my life, she finished school, so the last couple days I've been spending more time with her than I normally do, because normally she's just studying around the clock and I'm just working around the clock. But one of the things we did do in our time together is she likes Tom Cruise movies and she'd never seen Minority Report before. We watched Minority Report, which was on my to-do list anyway, because I haven't seen that movie since back when it came out, but I had to laugh right at the beginning of the film. If you've never seen Minority Report, which is based on a book and made into a film starring Tom Cruise from the early 2000s, it's about how the federal government has a police force in the future, or the city of DC does. The city of DC has a special pre-crime unit where they essentially have people with psychic powers hooked up to computers, and the three of them with their psychic powers can see what murders are going to happen so that they can go there and arrest the person before they commit the murder. And this sort of has parallels to what's going on today with, the talk in the news of online paranoid conspiracy theorists and how they could be threats, such as what we saw on January 6th with the Capitol insurrection, painting pictures of certain types as a threat to society. It's not quite the same as Minority Report, but again, it's accusing those who have not committed any crimes yet. And, but anyway, the beginning of Minority Report, you only have to watch the opening minutes to catch what I'm about to talk about. But they show you the year 2054. 2054 is the year that the film begins. Emphasis on 54. And the film begins in D.C., the land of the Jesuit order. Remember, in Gematria, Jesuit order equals 54. John Carroll equals 54, who established the first Jesuit university, Georgetown, in 1789 on January 23rd, when he was 54 years old. Well, sure enough, in the beginning, when they're looking for the first person who's about to commit the murder, they have him pinned down close to the Georgetown neighborhood in this scene that begins 2054. And the time that he's supposed to murder his wife at is 8:04 a.m. 8:04. Remember, the word Jesuit equals 84. When you use numerology, if you write out the Jesuit order, just like the Catholic Church, it's 84. If you write out United States of America, it's 84. Big numbers in this land. Again, Washington, D.C.'s had diplomatic relations with the Vatican, the Catholic Church, since 84. Anthony Fauci, the Jesuit, the head of NIH, since 1984. George Orwell's 84. About essentially being ruled over by a tyrannical government in a futuristic society where people are controlled by screens. So anyway, you just watch the beginning of Minority Report in the first 5 minutes, you just see how they're already paying tribute to the same old numbers that the Jesuits are always doing their rituals around. And we know what it is, those of us who are awake when we watch the movies. They're showing us the future world they have planned for us. How they'll control us more and more with technology and surveillance. And it had Sweet Lady asking, she's like, do you think that's possible that they could hook up some psychics to a computer? I was like, well, you would have asked people 100 years ago if a smartphone would have seemed like possible. They all would have thought you were the craziest person ever. So anyhow, Minority Report, if you have not seen that film, just in terms of entertainment, it's pretty entertaining, but also just if you're an awake person and you like to watch movies, just to kind of see what they're forecasting for the future, what they're putting into films. There's a lot of things that are interesting in that movie. And I didn't really ruin it for you because all that just happens in the opening minutes anyway. But to test to make sure the radio show is going out there tonight, because again, normally I hear at least some sort of sound in the beginning. I think I'm going to take a call early and see if we can connect with anybody on the soundboard right now. Now, what's interesting is this gentleman normally calls in later, but he's the first caller tonight, so he must have something big to say. Let's hope we can hear him. It's Bob Marley's friend. How are you today?
What's up, Zach?
Yeah, you called in early tonight. What's going on?
Yeah, I just get inside, so I said, look, I'll hook up with you quick, you know what I'm saying? But I
Perfect.
didn't hear no sound at the first, you know what I'm saying? But I'm hearing you now.
Okay.
At first it was silent, you know?
Yeah, there's something wrong tonight. There's a glitch.
Okay. Yeah, over the weekend, I was speaking to a lot of my friends about the basketball scripted. So I tell them, so the Lakers going to win. The man said, no, the Lakers can't win. So
Yeah.
I took about 4 bets with them, telling the Lakers going to win. Man said, no way, you can't win. Can't win, they're sick and all that. I said, all of this game, they playing on you guys.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not too hard to dupe the masses, that's for sure. They'll fall for just about anything.
I mean, every day they tell me, no, man, this thing script is impossible. I said, do you have a smartphone? I said, yeah, do you have a drone you can stay here and kill people when if Obama stay in America and kill people outside
Right.
all the way across the globe?
Right. Yeah.
Simple as that, you know?
Some people will never learn, that's for sure.
Yeah, never learn, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
I mentioned, yeah, go ahead, speak.
I'm just saying, no, I understand, man. You're speaking my language. These people will never learn, so.
Oh, honestly, Zach, you know what I'm talking about now? I'm speaking to the young kids, man. Young kids are more open to learning stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So,
Yeah,
good strategy.
yeah. Oh,
Well, anything else?
I'm not sure you're listening. Eh?
Just tuning in, just listening tonight. Any last words before we go on to the next caller?
No, I'm not much a talker, you know. I'm mostly listening, you know what I'm saying?
Well, if only more of us did that, we'd all be further ahead. I appreciate you phoning in and saying hello every week, friend. You have a good rest of your night.
Yeah. Yeah, you too.
Thank you. You take care.
All right. Yeah.
And he's absolutely right. Young people are more likely to listen. They don't think, well, you can still run into a lot of roadblocks there, but young people are more likely. Let's go out to Houston. What's going on, Houston? Houston, Texas? 832? Well, maybe just listening tonight. So I can't hear you, Houston. Let's go out to Bronson, Florida. Bronson. Bronson? Hello?
Zach.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
Zach. Hey, what's up, man? Not too much, brother. Just wanted to point a couple things out. I've been trying to get a hold of you the last couple of weeks, but it's been basically, I'm sure you've seen 43 everywhere. We saw it since George Floyd, been everywhere. But basically, I think it all goes back to Lucifer. He's a 43. Jesus is a 43. Nonstop. But I think it's something, something to do obviously with Luciferian and I'm with you. Whether the Bible's true or not, these people are making sure it happens. It's the script. I'm with you on that. And I also wanted to point out something about Nas.
I just gotta say something about the Bible real quick. I gotta say something
video.
here before you do the Nas thing, which I do want to hear. I gotta say this about the Bible. I have a feeling that Revelation is just like whoever wrote the rest of the. Well, I mean the Bible's written by a bunch of people, but I just think Revelation's just this way different thing. And again, I mean, Revelation's just that nasty conclusion to the Bible. I mean, it really is that supposedly your religion is that you're waiting for your Messiah to return when the world is destroyed. It's like, again, there's a lot of reasons to question Christianity, but the whole book of Revelation, I think the whole book of Revelation's just something that was completely contrived and just stuck on as the end of the text as they wanted to give it to humanity. Because Again, there is a lot of
Absolutely
knowledge
right.
and wisdom in the
Absolutely
Bible,
right.
but
You know, it was written by.
I
You're
just
right about that.
it's
I
a
would
slave.
agree.
It's a book for slaves, just like our government's for slaves, our schools for slaves. It's a belief system for slaves is essentially the way I see it. So
That's absolutely right, sir. Indeed, indeed. You know, Romans 13 is a whole chapter about obeying the government and paying your taxes.
all right,
A
all
whole
right.
chapter of the New Testament is written. Tell me that's not Roman propaganda. No. That's the God of the universe. He has one book to give all of the world for millions of years a message, and he told us to pay our taxes and pay the government.
Right.
A whole chapter doing it.
And name it Romans, right?
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
But I'm actually a Reformed theologian. I went to New Orleans Theological Seminary. I was a Baptist preacher for years until I just kind of woke up. You know, woke up from the dream and just realized the further I got into studying the Bible, how much it was pasted together, how much was done, through the time of the Catholics and Martin Luther, who was a Catholic. Somehow they killed all the followers, but he got to live the rest of his life and die of old age.
Right.
I mean, to me, that's kind of funny, you know.
Right.
That's just me. But also, I wanted to point out something about Nas. You know, his new video, one of his newer videos, he's done with Hamilton, and the song is called "Wrote My Way Out." Now, in one of his lines, and I swear Nas has been dropping knowledge. You know, like I think he kind of does it undercover. I don't know, but he says 87 Reaganism. Well, of course, you look up Reaganism, and what does it equal? 87. And this is in this one particular song, if you look the lyrics up, called "Wrote My Way Out." He says now I write words and try to channel them. He's basically admitting he's a witch. You know, I channel words. These words I write, basically the spells. And it's basically, he's just giving it up. You know, and at the beginning, you know how he calls himself a black Elohim and a prophet all the time. He flashes a video or a street sign and just says 183. Well, 183 equals prophet of Yahweh, like the tetragrammaton, YHWH. So, it was, you know, my name actually equals prophet of Yahweh, too. That's why I knew 183, all three of my names, Jeremiah, you know, my full name. But anyway, so I noticed, and I'm like, he's flashing the 183 because he calls himself a prophet all the time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's got God's son on his belly. Yeah. So.
That's right.
Good observations,
absolutely.
man.
And in the lyrics to that song, he's just basically admitting gematria by saying 87 Reaganism. The number, and it's written, if you look at the lyrics, the number 87 is written next to the word Reaganism.
And it
when
just
you
makes
look
it.
up Reaganism, I'm not in front of my TV right now, but if you look at Reaganism, it's 87, obviously.
Okay. Number of the Beast has gematria of 87 as well. So I'll have to look more into that. That's interesting.
Yep.
And that's on his new. Is that on his new album?
Yeah, and you know, it's on that Hamilton album for that Hamilton play. That it has him and that guy, the Emmanuel whatever.
Right.
From he was in that show about.
I know who you're talking about though.
Show or some nurse's show. I don't watch TV. I stay away from TV, so I don't watch too much of it these days. But Emmanuel Linda, I believe his name was.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Hamilton. But anyways, that song is called "Wrote My Way Out." And if you listen to Nas's first line, I mean, he's basically just given up. You know, to me, he's given up that they're writing spells. And to me, I was going to say something about Revelation. You know, to me, when a story is put into the public consciousness for so long, it's going to manifest.
Yeah, there's definitely something to that too, the way the world works. So, yeah, great observations. Appreciate it, friend. Thank you for calling in tonight. Well, I think we lost him. But good information, things to follow up on. And we still got about 10 minutes for the commercial break. Let's go out to Michigan. What's going on, Michigan?
Hey, Zach. Good evening. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, I don't know if you know, but, TFR has a call-in listen line for those that just want to listen. It hasn't worked in over a year. My buddy called me the other day. He said, guess what's working? The TFR listen line. So I called both numbers today, and there's one for landline and one for cell phone. That the cell phone one is 515-605-9916. So anybody that doesn't, just want to tie up your lines, For those that want to talk, they can just call that listen line. Anyway, good points about the revelations. I think it's like, if you were a world leader, wouldn't you try to do everything in your power to keep that from happening, what that book says is going to happen? It's like everybody's trying to make all that stuff happen. And are you familiar with the Khazars?
Sure, yeah. Oh, of course.
And so there's a guy on another network, Jeff Bennett. He does this show. He did a 2-hour expose. Both hours. It was part 1 and part 2 of the Khazars from Attila the Hun. Before Attila the Hun, from like 635 A.D. I think is what the history shows when they came into fruition. And it seems as though they are the ones that created the Roman Empire, and they're the ones that call themselves Jews. And it's pretty interesting expose. He actually emailed it to a buddy of mine, with all his footnotes and everything, and it's 32 pages. There's a lot of data there, and he says in the 2 hours, he says it's commercial free. He could go a heck of a lot, at least 4 more hours of data that he could have put out. Part 1 is like ancient history, and part 2 is more modern history. And it's a pretty riveting expose. I highly recommend. It's called Cast a Giant Shadow. So I think it's very interesting. You might want to take a look at that if you can find it out there. So that's about all I got. Thanks, Zach.
Appreciate it. And one more time, do you just want to say the person's name so people make sure they got it?
Yeah, it's Jeff Bennett. His show is called On the Edge of Darkness. He's been around for about 30 years. He's 73 years old, and he's on republicbroadcasting.org at 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. So he'll throw that in there, like when he wants to take a couple days off, and he'll have a 2-day. His show's only an hour long, Monday through Friday, but he's pretty good. I think you'd like his take on things, and check it out. All right. Oh, and one more thing, national-assembly.net. I love everything you're doing. Everybody needs to know about Gematria, but if we don't organize, as we the people, and start doing, our own self-governing, these people are going to walk all over us, and they will end up giving us that jab. And I do believe that the COVID-19 is the vaccine shot jab.
Sure.
So beware, folks.
Sure. Here's the one thing I could say. I'm sure a lot of people from this community will go to the National Assembly website and start to read it and then not be that impressed and probably not follow through, because one of the first things it brags about is that it's the reason Trump got elected. And I mean, for me, that's not impressive either, because Trump's a puppet and was put in there in a puppet show by the numbers. So it's like, well, wait a minute. This website thinks it's having an effect on the federal website, and that's what the organization's to bring about more federal puppets. So I think if you know who's ever behind that website, they should do some work on their page, because, I mean, if you're awake, it's like, I mean, again, I think people need to organize a network, but when I look at that website and read its front page, I'm thinking like, well, these people are lost. So.
Well, I got to tell you, the Michigan Assembly was formed in 2010, long before Obama, not before Obama, but before Trump. And, there are some directives that they gave the Joint Chiefs, and some of these guys are good guys, and I did hear you say Trump was a lot better than Biden. And, we in this society that we live in, we have been under this thing for a couple hundred years, and but again, the first branch of government is we the people. So no matter what happens, if we don't become that first branch, the second branch is the grand jury, and it's the people's grand jury, not that federal crap that you see, that Hoppy Heidelberg got assassinated for, with Oklahoma City and all that. So yeah, you're right. We got a lot of work to do, but I don't see us doing it without everybody getting involved that's awake. Obviously, we can't have these masks. Thank God people are wearing masks, because now we know who all the real dupes are and the idiots. the people that are getting that jab are the ones wearing the mask. So the ones that aren't, all you people not wearing a mask, if you want to survive this future that they have for us, the only way we can do that is if we somehow become, united and organized, right? That's all I got. Thanks, brother.
Appreciate it, man. You have a good night.
You too.
Take care. All right. We got 5 minutes till the break. Let's go out to Richmond, California, 510.
Oh, how's it going, Zach? Just listening tonight.
Just listening. All right. Well, I appreciate you tuning in. You have a good night. Let's go out to Erie, Pennsylvania.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, real quick, have you ever heard of the SPARS pandemic simulation?
Yeah, for planned for the year 2025, the simulation. It's like in the year 2025.
All right, yeah, I just wanted to check and see.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people haven't.
October
If you want to share
2022. It
something,
looks pretty interesting.
if you want to share something about it, I'm sure there's a lot of people who haven't heard of it before. You can go ahead.
No, I just wanted to see if you had anything. I don't got lots to rant about tonight, so.
Okay, and just for people who haven't heard of it, it's the same people who put on Event 201 in Claydex. They put on this SPARS pandemic simulation. It's set in the year 2025, so could be an insight into what we can expect.
I thought.
Go ahead.
Is that it stands for St. Paul.
Next to
acute
Minneapolis.
Respiratory syndrome, like St. Paul, which is pretty much connected to Minneapolis, where right, pretty much epicenter of all the George Floyd and all that crap.
And since you make that
I thought
point,
that was pretty interesting.
yeah, since you make that point, the movie Contagion, which came out in 2011, where you got Sanjay Gupta saying the same lines in that movie that he's now saying on TV about COVID. That movie is largely focused in the Minneapolis area as well, so I might need to do more homework on Minneapolis. I think there's more there than just the 93rd Meridian. So.
Right. Yeah. Sure, there probably is, but all right. I'll get off and let you go.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you take care. So the SPARS pandemic, it starts in 2025 and goes through 2028. And again, that's after my 2024. I don't like to say that I'm worried about things, but I do wonder what will happen in 2024. Again, that's 44 years after the Georgia Guidestones were put where they are on March 22nd, 1980. 2024 will be the 44-year anniversary on March 22nd. And again, words like Georgia, genocide, military, execution, kill, they're all 44 in Gematria. Fateful number. So those monuments weren't put up for nothing. Let's go out to La Abra, California, 562. 562? Maybe just tuning in tonight. Thanks for calling in, 562. Let's go out to Grand Prairie, Texas, 469.
Yeah, what's up, Zach? How you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you?
Not too bad, man. I'm just calling in because I just wanted to share a quick decode on the death of Michael Collins. He was the NASA astronaut for Apollo 11. So what I got here is, first of all, he died on the 28th day of the month. Apollo 11 equals 28, NASA equals 28, and kill equals 28. And then he also died on 73 date numerology. Apollo 11, again, equals 73. NASA equals 73, and sacrifice as well equals 73. He also died 25 weeks after his birthday. Death equals 25. And then this whole thing is actually synced up with Neil Armstrong, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. So as far as his birthday, he died 186 days before his upcoming birthday, and Neil Armstrong equals 186. And then also he died 6 months and 3 days before his upcoming birthday, and Michael Collins, his name equals 63. Now what's interesting with his age of death, which is 90, he was born on October 31st, 1930, and that date had a 90 date numerology, and now he's dead at the age of 90.
I see that.
And also he died in Naples, Florida, which sits on the 81st Meridian West, and Michael Collins equals 81. So does Ritual equals 81 as well. And Naples, Florida also sits on the 26th parallel north, and they're saying he died from cancer, and cancer equals 26 as well. Now, as far as this
Uh,
being synced up with Neil
uh,
Armstrong,
are you missing something there with cancer? What's today? Today's the 118th day of the year. What's cancer equal?
oh, yep, yeah, cancer does equal 118. You're right, yep. And also Armstrong, the last name Armstrong equals 118 as well. I actually missed that. Yeah, you're right about that. So what's sick with Neil Armstrong is he died exactly 38 weeks after Neil Armstrong's birthday, and of course, death, murder, killing, all summed to 38.
In Hebrew,
Now,
in Hebrew, moon is 38 since they're connected to the moon missions.
Okay, yep, you're right. And then also, there's actually a 38 before Neil Armstrong's birthday and after Neil Armstrong's birthday, because he also died 3 months and 8 days before Neil Armstrong's upcoming birthday. So there's actually a double 38 on both directions. And then also there's also 83 because he died 8 months and 3 days after Neil Armstrong's death anniversary. And of course, murder equals 83 as well. And then he died exactly 17 weeks before Neil Armstrong's upcoming death anniversary, and kill equals 17. So this was very synced up with Neil Armstrong.
Well,
and,
great decode.
Much all I had on that.
Yeah, great work. You keep up with the good research. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Right,
No problem.
take care. All right, so for the radio listening audience, they heard almost all of what he said, but it did go to its commercial break thing with he probably the last 10 words he was trying to say are cut off, and technically we're in the commercial break right now, and normally we would hear the commercial break, you know, the sheeple virus or the extendivide or whatever other commercials are on this radio network. But again, the sound's out tonight, and I noticed there's been a few shows where like I haven't had sound for the first hour, and then it seems like in the second hour of the show the sound comes back. But normally I'm quiet right now and just letting the commercials play. But I will wait until the countdown timer on my screen goes back to the normal show because I want to make sure the radio listening audience hears our next guest, who of course is Rambo, and. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of these silent nights. I guess since we can't hear anything, just so we're not just sitting here in silence, which can't, you know what, speaking of that, you know, being in silence, like a lot of, in our society, we're used to just constant noise, TV in the background, radio on. It's like people aren't comfortable with silence, but again, when you're tuned into a show, you probably didn't tune in for silence either, so yeah, we'll try not to be quiet. While I wait for the break to end, I will engage with the chat. So as I switch over here, we got somebody who's chanting Rambo in the chat. They're excited, and we got actually several people doing that. So again, Rambo usually is. There's a lot of bright spots every Wednesday night, but Rambo usually is the highlight of each week. And yes, thank you to everyone who has sent me a clip of their music. I am going to get those over to Chris Gio and see if he can swap out the normal clips we hear during the commercial breaks with music with the sounds of our community. I think that'd be a lot cooler. And let me see. Let's see what we got here. Well, we're still supposed to be silent for about another minute. Ben left a comment, COVIDvaccinereactions.com. Here, let's check it out. Let's check it out real quick. What's going on at that website? COVIDvaccinereactions.com. Okay. So there's cybersecurity expert Dan Kaminsky dead at 42 after receiving the vaccine. Some of these stories, even in the mainstream, though, I'm just like, okay, normally what they report in the mainstream is by the numbers. I gotta, 42, we know where that number fits in with vaccines. Again, remember what happened October 28th, 1956, 42 weeks after Elvis's birthday, on Jonas Salk's 42nd birthday, on Bill Gates' first birthday. He got the polio vaccine on live TV. 42 is a big vaccine number. And I think we're coming back from the commercial break right now. Again, for the people who are listening just through the TFR website, I don't have the sound on my end, so I can't hear the commercials or the music. If some sort of glitch happens every now and then, but gonna try to do my best despite. And it is that part of the show where we go out to Rambo, so I'm gonna do that right now. And how you doing this week, friend?
I'm doing all right. Thanks again.
Glad to hear from you.
Yes, I also like to thank those who were chanting in the. You said they were chanting in the comment section.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Thank them.
There's a lot. Yeah, they're getting rowdy for Rambo. So people are even spelling your name in there in a French way. So you might have an international audience here for you.
So in a French way, how's a Rambaux?
Something like that. Yeah, I have to scroll back up to where it was, but it was something like that. So.
Yeah. Okay. I want to address the death of Terrence Clark, the young basketball standout.
Okay.
When I saw what happened, it had. Now you talk about how when you analyze the events that happen, the same rituals and elements are repeated over and over again. Yeah, so these are they're very ritualistic. I guess there are certain rules that you're following. But as soon as I saw that, I saw much of the elements. Also, a few weeks back when I talked about the Elliot Page, the Time magazine cover, I brought up the date of 4/22, April 22nd, and you pointed out that was Adam Lanza's birthday. And you were asking, if that has a connection.
But Rambo,
actually it did.
Rambo, I got to remind. Okay, so by you bringing up April 22nd, I don't know if you heard what I was saying, how I watched Minority Report yesterday, but that movie begins on April 22nd, which of course is the 112th day of the year, and the Jesuits operate in 112 countries. Again, if anybody watches the beginning of Minority Report, the year 2054, the time 8:04, the 112th day of the year, I mean, these are big Jesuit numbers used in big Jesuit rituals, and again, it starts in Jesuit DC, but yeah, April 22nd. Sorry, go ahead, Rambo.
Yes, but so when you pointed it out, I wasn't aware of the Adam Lanza connection, and when you pointed it out, I made a point that let me take note of what happens on April 22nd. I want to see if anything happens, and sure enough, so yeah, it's clear what happened. So I think I've gone to the heart of the ritual. But once you know what the core is, you can identify these things rather quickly. So to give full context to the decode, I'll reiterate a central point that I have made repeatedly, which is, relating to what you just said, that the Roman Empire never died. I know I say it over and over again, but it's an important point to establish the context. The Roman Empire never died. It merely changed its facade. And if Rome never died, then that means the gods of Rome are still being venerated. The Vatican and the United States of America are two of the most significant, but not the only, centers of power of modern Rome. The most sacred site of Rome was Capitoline Hill, which hosted the Roman Senate, the seat of Roman authority. Capitol Hill hosts the United States Senate. Capitoline Hill was also a center of veneration of the most sacred and powerful elite deities of Rome: Jupiter, Juno, and Minerva, known collectively as the Capitoline Triad. Jupiter's sacred bird is the eagle, as depicted in the sculpture that I showed up. In my article, I posted a picture of the Capitoline Triad, from ancient times. And each member has their sacred bird. Well, Jupiter's sacred bird is the eagle. And this is where the United States adopted its popular symbol from. Jupiter is venerated at the Vatican in modern times in the form of Saint Peter. It's Jew Peter. Saint Peter is depicted seated in a throne/chair, the same way ancient Rome depicted Jupiter. And it's also the same way that Greece depicted Zeus. So it's the same entity. Zeus, Jupiter is the same entity. And they're always depicted, not always, but very often depicted, seated in thrones or chairs. And it's obvious when you see St. Peter, how he's depicted, that it's based on Zeus and Jupiter. And Gematria, the Gematria link of Peter and the Vatican/Jesuit order to Jupiter is through the number 71 code. I mean, the list of 71s that link those entries together is so lengthy, but I'll just, as a reminder, give a few examples. Zeus is 71. Peter is 71. Vatican City is 71. The Society of Jesus is 71. Catholic is 71. There are a lot more, but this is one I just came up with. I thought the list was done. No, it just never ends. If you transliterate from the Hebrew alphabet into the, you call it the Phoenician alphabet, the alphabet that we use, if you take the name for Jupiter in Hebrew, it's Tzedek. T-Z-E-D-E-K, Tzedek. That's Jupiter in Hebrew, transliterated, and it comes to 71. What a surprise. So it's important also to remember that the planet Jupiter rules the zodiac signs of Pisces and Sagittarius. So it is no coincidence that the first openly Jesuit Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, is a Sagittarius. And so April 22nd is the holy day of Jupiter and Juno. Juno is the sister and consort of Jupiter in Roman mythology. The annual holy day set aside for the celebration of Jupiter and Juno. This is not the same. There are individual days just to venerate Jupiter, which is the Ides of each month. For some months, the Ides of the 15th, some other months, the 13th. But the Ides of every month, those were sacred days for Jupiter. And then there's another separate holy day for the whole triad. But April 22nd was just to honor Jupiter and Juno. So with these elements in mind, consider the famous person born on Jupiter-Juno Veneration Day, April 22nd. It was Adam Lanza, as you pointed out. And it turns out that his middle name was Peter, which that was his father's name. So he inherited that name from his father. And think of the word father. Father in Latin, pater. Where does pater? It comes from Jupiter. The whole father, Peter theme. Right, so that was right there with Adam Lanza. And also consider the date on which they say Lanza committed the infamous act was December 14th. And that date is under Sagittarius. So yeah, those elements there. The other thing is that April 22nd this year, the Jupiter-Juno Veneration Day, it fell on a Thursday. And that's very significant because Thursday is that's Jupiter Day, and I gave the Wikipedia a quote from Wikipedia on Thursday. This is quote: Thursday is aligned by the planet Jupiter and its astrological signs of Pisces and Sagittarius. That's from Wikipedia. So another important ritual element to understand, or esoteric element, is that Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, is the detriment of Jupiter, and vice versa. So in astrology, every sign and its ruling planet has its detriment. Jupiter is the ruling planet of Pisces and Sagittarius. The detriment of Pisces and Sagittarius is Mercury, and vice vice versa. So Mercury is the ruling planet of Gemini and Virgo. And the detriment of Gemini and Virgo is Jupiter. So these are like nemesis signs. And so these elements are the core to the ritual. So it was Thursday, April 22nd. Everything lined up for a Jupiter ritual. It was too perfect. So on Thursday, which is Jupiter, April 22nd, Jupiter-Juno Holy Day, University of Kentucky basketball star Terrence Clark died in a car crash. Terrence Clark was born September 6th, which made Terrence Clark a Virgo. And Virgo represented Mercury, which is the nemesis, quote-unquote, of Jupiter. So this was prime for a Jupiter sacrifice. And who would Jupiter sacrifice as nemesis? Mercury. Terrence Clark was Mercury. Terrence Clark was not the only famous person to die in unusual circumstances on April 22nd, 2021. Rapper G-Shock.
Shock G.
Of the digit. What's that?
A Shock G.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Shock G. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Casio watch.
Sure. Hey, Rambo, before you go,
Yeah.
before you might not know this, but the Terrence Clark, his coach, John Calipari, he died 71 days after John Calipari's birthday, and car crash equals 71, like Jupiter and everything, or not Jupiter, but Peter and all the other points you were just making that connected Jupiter. But he did die 71 days after his coach's birthday, his college coach, who looks a bit like a mafioso.
That's a huge one. That's a good one. I didn't even think to line up with Calipari's birthday, but again, yes.
Yeah.
This is why when you give as many examples as possible, and I could give more with the 71. Then you can't. I guess you could say coincidence, but then you start to look ridiculous. You can't have 50 coincidences. But yeah, there again, 71. This is such a key number to them.
Here, Rambo, just to make a point for anyone who does think it's a coincidence. Here, I'm gonna write out car crash so they can see. Whoops, I gotta spell it right. Car crash is 71 forwards, 145 in reverse. This college player for Kentucky died 71 days after his coach's birthday, and he died 145 days after the birthday of the person he was racing against, whose name is Brandon Boston Jr., which is 224, like the date 22nd of the 4th month, April. Again, for anyone who thinks this stuff's a coincidence, realize it's just you don't have enough IQ points to ride the game of GematriaEffectNews or Rambo's conversation. And really, these people who are too dumb to grasp that this is the truth and what's going on, you guys are really what's wrong with the world. In fact, you're the reason that we're ruled over. The people who rule over us, they're actually not that smart. They're not that clever. It's just they're a lot smarter and clever than all the idiots who can't see the obvious that's put in front of their face each day. And sorry, I just got to talk about the idiots because they really are dragging humanity down to the bottom with them. But go ahead, Rambo. I will tape my mouth shut. So.
No, that's okay. That's relevant. But yeah, I don't want to go off topic. You kind of, directed me somewhere. But what you do have to consider where much of the ancient religious texts come from. What is the oldest existing religious text? It's the Sumerian cuneiform tablets. Those are older. Those precede the Bible and the Torah, and that's what those are all based on. And what do they say about the origin of the human species? You can different scholars can debate the interpretation of them, but many Assyriologists will say that this is the original text that the Bible and Abrahamic religions are based on says that the human race was created to be a slave. It was hardwired, consciously programmed to be subservient, to worship. This seems to confirm that. And again, and this actually ties into what I'm saying. Who was the deity that wanted the humans as slaves? It's Enlil. And who is Enlil? Zeus. It's Jupiter. So yeah, this is it all ties in. It ties in. So anyway, Shock G died on the same day, Thursday, Jupiter Day, on April 22nd, a Jupiter Veneration Day. Well, Shock G's birthday is August 25th. That makes Shock G a Virgo as well. So two Virgos on the same day, famous Virgos. I mean, coincidences. I mean, just many examples. I think we know clear what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to make a disclaimer. It's a very important point to make. This does not mean that Jupiter is evil and Mercury is good. Jupiter good, Mercury evil. No, not at all. All entities are multifaceted, positive and negative. Now, a magical practitioner, this is sorcery, that's what this is. A magical practitioner who's a sorcerer, who's negative, will invoke whatever desired aspects of an entity they want, depending on their intention. So, I guess those particular aspects of Jupiter appeal to them. I understand when you want to have an empire, like the Babylonian Empire, the United States is an empire, Nazis, they all use the eagle because Jupiter represents expansion. That's understandable why they might want to invoke Jupiter. But as an individual, if you're enslaved by the empire, the expansion vibration of Jupiter would also help somebody breaking away from enslavement. So that it can be positive as well. So I just want to make that point. It's not Jupiter bad and Mercury good. And Mercury's negative. My first article on breakdown on Mercury was about how Mercury rules the realm of deception and lies. Gemini, two-face. I mean, so Mercury also has a negative aspect as well. So that's just to clarify that. So you actually could combat the negative aspects of Jupiter by appealing to the positive aspects of Jupiter. So it's not that it's not that black and white. Just to clear that up, very important. So another pattern that I've observed, which is I can demonstrate, is there's a correlation between Mercury and 9/11. They like to. You'll see 9/11 or 119 manifest in a ritual that has to do with Mercury, and you also see transportation themes because Mercury is the god of transportation and travelers. So that theme comes up a lot, very often. I gave a few examples. I could give a ton of examples of where Mercury and transportation, that theme comes up in events. So the greatest Mercury sacrifice ritual of all modern history, anyway, is September 11th, World Trade Center. Like I said, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. The symbol for Gemini is twins. The Twin Towers were a Gemini symbol. The date of the attack was in Virgo. So clearly, Mercury was a central part of that. Airplanes were a central element of 9/11 sorcery because the Mercury rules the realm of travel and transportation. Another example is Lady Diana, who was sacrificed on August 31st, which is a date under Virgo, in a car crash, and which is a form of transportation. It was a Mercedes-Benz, and the name Mercedes-Benz is actually pays homage to Mercury. It's Merc, M-E-R-C, Mercedes-Benz. That's a reference to Mercury as the god of transportation. Mercedes-Benz sums to 119. Mercedes-Benz also sums to 1109 in English Extended. Another example is MTV. They had the popular Jackass series. One of the big stars there was Ryan Dunn. He's a Gemini. He was born June 11th, and he died in a car crash in Goshen, Pennsylvania. And he died in a Porsche 911. So there again, you see a Mercury 911 transportation in the sacrifice. So a massive statue of the Roman god Mercury sits atop Grand Central Station in New York City. So this is mainstream. You can see it right there. They're telling you who's the god of transportation. It's the most famous transportation hub in the world has a statue of Mercury on its southern facade. And the creator of that spectacular sculpture, he's French. His name is Jules Coutan. The name, and Jules Coutan is a Virgo. Incidentally, a Virgo created that statue. What are the odds? His name, Jules Coutan, comes to 156. And we know that 9/11 is the 156th prime, so it's amazing, the synchronicity. Terrence Clark, who was a Virgo, Mercury, his last name Clark sums to 119 in the Latin/Jewish cipher. Terrence Clark was born 5 days before September 11th, the big ritual of September 11th, 2009. He was born 5 days before that, which is interesting because 5 was the number that he wore throughout high school and in college. Number 5. Interesting, and he was born 5 days before September 11th. Terrence Clark died on Winnetka Avenue, and Winnetka comes to 119. So 119 is a big thing. I even showed a tweet here of a condolence from Trey Young. Trey Young is a Virgo. This is the pattern. All this can't be coincidence. But Trey Young of the Atlanta Hawks, there's a popular site, Insider, a mainstream outlet, Insider.com. Well, they waited till there were 119 comments before they took a screenshot to publish in their article. So there's a 119 on another one with Trey Young. So the most popular condolence message came from LeBron James, who said, "Rest in paradise, nephew." LeBron James tweeted that. Well, nephew is an interesting thing to refer to him as nephew. Why would we call him nephew? Well, nephew, car crash, and Virgo all have double alignment, 71 and 35. Lines up perfectly. Also, the full phrase, "rest in paradise, nephew," sums to 103. Like Mercury sums to 103. Then 41, that's the big number for Mercury rituals, because Mercury sums to 41. For example, 9/11 occurred on a date with 41 numerology. The Pentagon's construction began on September 11th in the year 41. Al-Qaeda sums to 41. Airplanes sums to 41. So Kobe Bryant, who was a Virgo, was reported to have died in a form of transportation. Again, helicopter. The name Kobe Bryant sums to 41. He died at 41. And there are much more 41s. You've covered those extensively. But here's an interesting synchronicity that the Federal Aviation Authority has the same founding date as Kobe Bryant's birthday, August 23rd. That's when the Federal Aviation Authority was founded. They even have a wing of Mercury in their logo. And also remember that the Virgo, U.S. Vice President, Lyndon Baines Johnson, was sworn in at 238, like 23rd August, and Air Force One in midair. So yeah, this is a common theme. And L.A. comes to 41. Now, but the Greek god Hermes is Mercury, is described as a god of roads, a god of speed, and a god of athletes. Now you can see how that lines up again with Hermes. Road, speed, and athletes. That's how Hermes, who's a Mercury, is described by the Greeks. And in ancient Greece, they used to have monuments to Hermes at intersections. They call them crossroads, because that's the god of transportation. They were called Herma, Herma. Herma were monuments that they set at intersections. The intersections is a big part of the imagery. The term crossroads, an intersection could be called crossroads. Crossroads comes from 41. And remember an incident with Kobe Bryant. Just a little over a month before he died. There was an incident where in Newport Beach, there was a traffic accident at an intersection where he got out of his car and he comforted some victims and he directed traffic. That was such a blatant Mercury ritual because he was Mercury, the god of transportation. That's what that was all about. And again, it's at a crossroads, 41, just like where Terrence Clark died at a crossroads. This is all Hermes Mercury ritual. And just as a reminder, Jupiter is the detriment of Mercury. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. Well, Terrence Clark had just signed with Clutch Sports Agency. Before the crash, he had just signed with Clutch Sports. And Clutch Sports was founded by Rich Paul. Anthony Davis of the Los Angeles Lakers is also a client of Clutch Sports, and Anthony Davis attended University of Kentucky, the same as Terrence Clark did. So those two people are significantly connected to him. Well, Rich Paul is a Sagittarius, and Anthony Davis is a Pisces, the two signs that are ruled by Jupiter, who are linked with Terrence Clark. So it looks like if the Lakers do win, and many incidents that happen around LeBron James, this one actually might be in favor of might be a sacrifice for Anthony Davis' success. It looks like I think Terrence Clark is more lined up with Anthony Davis than he is with LeBron James, and especially when you consider the heart of the ritual. And so yeah, just to end the article, I showed how remote hacking of cars is possible. I just sent a link to some articles that show you that cars can be remotely hacked. I don't know if that's what happened, but it can happen because it didn't look like he was in control of the car.
Rambo, you might want to pause right there just because even though we don't hear any sound, it's in the spot where it's normally like Extendivite or, one of the commercials. So just for the people listening to the radio show, just so they hear everything you're saying, maybe just take a break here for 2.5 minutes.
All right.
Yeah. Or you know what? Just for this 2.5 minutes, we can talk about something different. But just so the radio listening audience doesn't miss the majority of your presentation. Anything else going on right now?
Oh yeah, there are always there always a ton of things going on. There's the COVID. Obviously, that's the main thing, and that's the main concern now. I think the spotlight should be on the state of Israel. Israel is what everybody should be looking at because the whole green passport situation is getting really serious in Israel, where people who do not have the vaccine, now we're at the point where they can't do anything. They're losing their jobs. They can't. They actually have separate. They have a supermarket then for people who are vaccinated, have the green passport, can go to supermarkets, and those who do not, I think they have these. They've made these lesser stores with fewer options. It's digital. It's a digital passport, and what it does, it actually surveils you, and it actually gives I think it actually has like a camera or something, but it has like a 360 degree. It gives your location and everything around you, and that's when you get that's what you get after you get the vaccine. So I think the world needs to look at what's happening in Israel.
Yeah,
it's getting pretty serious because that's next for it.
They're coming up on their big anniversary date, May 14th. Gonna turn 73 years old. So yeah.
You wouldn't have thought Israel would have thought it was Israel. I would never have guessed that. It's getting really extreme there.
Oh, you wouldn't guess them? I mean, think about the movie World War Z. If you haven't seen that movie, it all goes back to Israel. It's a viral outbreak worldwide. Israel's got big secrets. So.
Well, usually I would think that if you're going to oppress a group of people at an extreme level, like you'd pick on a more vulnerable, like a third world. That's what I would have thought.
Well, maybe it's a tribute to history since it's kind of like having your papers. So the world hasn't really seen that since World War II.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, this is not to be all sappy kumbaya, but I mean, this is why people have to stick together. If there's a group that's oppressed, it's going to affect. You might not imagine it will affect you, but you allow that door to open, and it's going to be blown wide open. It's going to affect you as well,
right?
Eventually, no matter who you are.
Yeah, 100% true.
Yeah. Muslims, when you're not Muslims, well, you better speak up for the Muslims. It's going to affect you too, eventually.
Right. It's just like people should see it right now. I mean, in 2001, the war on terrorism, they painted terrorists as brown Middle Eastern men, turbans on their heads, monkey bars, AK-47s. I mean, 20 years later, the terrorists are the patriots, the Trump supporters, the spring breakers, and yeah, the list will just grow. So
No, that's a great example.
yeah, we're almost back from the commercial break here. I can't tell because we don't have sound. I think we're back, Rambo. Again, you guys, we're working without the sound tonight, so we can't hear the normal cues for when to start talking and whatnot. But we do have Rambo here. We got interrupted by what was the silent commercial break, and let Rambo get back on topic. So if you want to get back onto the presentation, I think we're there.
Yeah, so I pretty much finished the presentation, but I just ended with an example. So in the mainstream, how modern day cars are very hackable, and cars are becoming more and more computerized, and the more computerized they get, the more hackable they are. So I just gave an example. If you search the subject of remote hacking of automobiles, you'll see tons of articles, videos and articles of any modern car. And the more modern, the more hackable they are.
It was after Michael Hastings' death. Michael Hastings died, and I forget who it was that spoke out, but said that they thought his car was hacked and talked about how the modern cars could be hacked and the government had access. And, but yeah, this got real popular.
Well, I talk about...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I talk about Michael Hastings right at the end of my article here. He's right to picture Michael Hastings.
Oh. Okay, yeah, you went right where I would have gone with it. Yeah, perfect.
So I just want to give a quote from the article that I just gave. There are tons of articles. I just picked one to just to give you the idea. And this was from 2015, so the technology now is even more advanced. A quote, previously, the team that had demonstrated to Greenberg that they could disable the brakes, you can remotely disable someone's brakes so the car can't stop. Kind of interesting. You see the car flying through the intersection, like you say, well, so you remote control it. Could you have slammed on the brakes? No, you can remotely disable the brakes, honk the horn, jerk the seatbelt, even move the seatbelt, and commandeer the steering wheel. When Greenberg's article was publicized earlier this week, Tuesday, July 24th, this is back in 2015, the media, online, and mainstream went crazy. The vulnerability of ordinary vehicles to wireless hacking and third-party control had been exposed. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with. So I just, like you mentioned, Michael Hastings, I just ended with a quick mention of Michael Hastings and how he was a very aggressive investigative reporter, like really aggressive. Like he'd get in the face of, he got in the face of Rahm Emanuel, who was one of Barack Obama's top advisors, and he became Chicago mayor. Well, Michael Hastings got in his face in his office. I mean, I think he even, what was it, McChrystal, Five-Star General McChrystal, Hastings' investigation, he forced him to quit. So he had enemies in high places. He was a great journalist, but yeah, he ended up, again, it was in Los Angeles. It was a Mercedes, and it was on a date in Gemini. It was June 18th. So that's that's related to Mercury as well. So some of the elements were in Michael Hastings' death. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a really suspicious death at the time, and that was about 2 months before I discovered Gematria, and I looked into his thing right away. But yeah, for people who don't remember Michael Hastings, I mean, his personality stood out. I mean, if there was anybody real in the media at the time, it was him. So.
Yeah, and he wasn't political. He didn't play any sides. He just was. His philosophy was just based on principle. It wasn't, go easy on liberals or, take the conservative side. No, he was genuinely just objective and principled.
He came across as genuine. So I remember when he died, I said, yeah, it figures that he dies in a suspicious way. He's like the only person even worth listening to if anybody's going to be a news guest. So.
Yeah, but yeah, now we can see like you said, the same elements, numbers, patterns over and over again, and and so with Terrence Clark, we see again the same patterns.
Indeed. Well, great work as always, Rambo. I really do appreciate what you bring to the table every single week, filling in a huge missing piece of the puzzle. And again, it is mind blowing though. The more you learn, it's just like, man, how all this stuff comes together. It is mind blowing. So, yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. Also, last
Go ahead.
last week a caller asked about using astrology for decoding sports. Yeah. I wanted to show how sometimes you can use it, but like you've demonstrated with sports, it's the surface level decodes are the most effective. You've demonstrated that, like beyond doubt. So you don't want to overcomplicate things. I don't think. But I might put together something on how on certain occasions maybe astrology could help with decoding sports. It usually happens when there's a major event like the Great Conjunction. Yeah. When something that obvious happens on just one game, the night of a conjunction, then that has. So in situations like that, you can do it. I might put something together for that, but in general, I'd say to go by what you've shown the tried and true to more of the surface level decodes.
And for anyone listening, going, well, what does that mean? Here's an example. A gentleman called me up yesterday. I think he was nervous about placing his bet. He's like, Zach, you still like the 39 pattern with the Orioles and the Yankees? I said, I'm always going to like the 39 pattern with both of those teams. That number plays hard for both those teams. He's like, the Yankees got to win today then because the Orioles will fall to 3-9 at home. Well, the Yankees won convincingly 5-1. And again, this is what surface level stuff is. If I write out Orioles in what's considered the most pure cipher, the alphabetic order with the rules numerology, Orioles is 39. New York's also 39 in that cipher, and New York loves the number 39. But that's what a surface level riddle is. And Gematria, when you have this knowledge, there's some... It's just like the Dodgers. I just told you guys over the weekend. You had 2-7-3 things happen with the Dodgers. Los Angeles Dodgers, 73 in the most pure cipher. There's really repetitive numbers with certain teams that play again and again and again. And realize there's no pattern that's 100%. But like you play the Dodgers 73 pattern, it's going to hit in 8 out of 10 games. And any gambler will take those odds. So, and when two teams have a strong connection to a number, and that number can play, like New York and the Orioles with 39, I mean, you got even better than 80% odds of winning that. So, that's the way it is.
Go ahead. So, I might do something on that, but unless it's exceptional, like you said, it's the surface level, don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, but again, I mean, I'm sure the astrology definitely does play its role, but again, the sports a lot of times is just surface level gematria, so. Yeah. Well, again, I appreciate it, Rambo, and can't wait for the next decode, and again, anytime you want to do one before Wednesday comes around, you got my number. People love hearing from you. And every week I get the email, when's Rambo starting his YouTube channel? And I would just say, well, when he feels like starting a YouTube channel, he probably will. But if you ever do, Rambo, you'd have a big following right away. There's a lot of people that want to see that happen. So.
Yeah, I do have a lot of pressure to do that. I do. Yeah, I would like to communicate more than just once a week. But again, thanks for giving me this platform. When I do start, I'll have an audience basically that from the platform that you worked hard to build up. I mean, how many people can start their own projects and have someone actually give them part of their audience? So that would be a huge...
And Rambo, something else you might want to look into, and you can let me know if you want to do it, and when you do have it done, you can let me know if it's set up, but I in the last week, and maybe I got emails like this before because I don't see all my emails, but in the last week I had 2 people email me and ask me where they could send you a donation. So if you want to set up a donation page, I think there's people out there who want to support you too.
I appreciate that. And, I'll put something together.
Okay. Yeah, there's people out here.
I appreciate the support. Yeah. I appreciate the feedback, and I appreciate you for giving me the platform.
Of course, Rambo. We all appreciate you even more. So thanks for calling in and becoming a part of the show.
All right.
All right.
Take care. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Take care. All right. So, things to look forward to. And with that said, we're going to take calls the rest of the way. Let's go out to Michigan. 248.
Hello?
Yeah, how you doing?
By the way, good call. I mean, good job, Rambo, and the decode. And I wanted to let you know, did you see the new update on Black Rod? They changed his birthday, like his date year.
I heard they
They
made
changed
him a
it from
year
69
older.
to 68.
That's what I heard. Somebody told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna do a decode, but like I don't want to take up time. So thanks for taking my call. Stay safe, y'all, and what's up, everybody?
All right. Appreciate you calling in. You have a good night.
You too.
Yeah, they did the Chadwick Boseman thing. They changed his year of death. Let's go out to Charlotte. 704.
Zach, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So I just kind of was spitballing. I took some notes here based on Rambo's call. Very insightful. So shout out to Rambo. I love his kind of decoding and information he brings, particularly in relation to Gemini, because I'm a Gemini myself. So I find it interesting because he always has like, you know, kind of very interesting gematria knowledge on that. But also in relation to Virgo, actually Moneybagg Yo, a rapper, he's also a Virgo, and he dropped a new album this week. He's a rapper from Memphis, and Terrence Clark, as we know, his coach was John Calipari, and John Calipari also coached for Memphis once upon a time. So I don't know if that has any relation. I always kind of like key into these kind of connections because I've been following you for like 5 years, so I just kind of always have this in the back of my mind. I make connections like everywhere in the world of news. So also I heard him, Rambo, talking a lot about Gemini. Gunna is actually a rapper who's a Gemini, and he dropped a new album this month with Young Thug. So there's a Gemini connection there. I heard him also mention.
Hold on. I just had to. I know that this Moneybagg Yo, even though I don't really know who he is. I couldn't tell you any of his songs, but I've seen his name in enough places that I know he has some fame. And what I did notice, since you made the connection, is from his birthday to that Terrence Clark death was his 213th day of his age, and that number's connected to death, but it's also the LA area code where he died. So, again, the world of celebrity is all connected. And, yeah, maybe there is something there. So
213. Yeah, and I know you've mentioned Once Upon a Time as well. You mentioned in the song Regulate how I think it's Nate Dogg says, you know, you can't mess with 213 or something like that. And clearly that's kind of like a Masonic something or another gematria connection that he's shouting out. 213 is in connection with a lot of rappers.
Well, because
like
LA.
I said, I've been following you for 5 years, so I know about that.
Sure. It's like, well, most of the listeners just think, well, he's just talking about LA, 213, but the number has a greater meaning, too. It's connected to death. So, again.
Exactly, yeah. It's connected to death. And we know Nate Dogg died 5 years ago or so.
Longer than that. Longer than that. He'd been dead for a long time. I'd say at least 10 years ago. 2011. Yeah, so it's been over. This year was the 10-year anniversary. Yeah, I knew he died before I found this research too, because I went back and looked at his death. He died on the Ides of March, the 74th day of the year. Rapper 74, killing 74. I don't know if you could technically could you call Nate Dogg a rapper? I know he was more of a singer, but I'm sure. I guess right in his in Wikipedia they say he's a rapper. So.
It's like, you know how Mary J. Blige just always collaborates with rappers? I consider Nate Dogg, he's kind of like the male version of Mary J. Blige, where like he's a singer, R&B, but he always collaborated with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was the reason he got famous and then, you know, went from there. But kind of jumping back into the Gemini relation as well, since I'm a Gemini, I always key into Gemini. It's really a fascinating star sign. So I know Rambo finds it fascinating too, but also Steve-O is a Gemini. I know Rambo made a comment about Ryan Dunn's death, so it's kind of an interesting connection. Also, it was interesting how Bam Margera, I really think he had like a ritualistic thing on television where he went to the death of the crime or the death scene of Ryan Dunn where he crashed and he was crying on like the live news television. I think that was Bam Margera's sacrifice right there, was Ryan Dunn. I don't know if you have any comments on that, but I have one more
Well,
connection to make with my.
I was just gonna say that's
Yeah,
kind of
go
how
ahead.
it works. I mean, one entertainer dies and the other lives on and gets another movie, another record, another contract. I mean, that's what we see again and again. So I mean, I haven't researched it myself, but you're that's. I mean, I'm essentially showing the same types of things all the time. So I mean, it just makes sense just listening to it.
Yeah, man, I have this stuff on my mind all the time, but I think these people, these entertainers, they literally worship the devil. I mean, you can tell in the way they look.
Well, I
And
think
if
that's
you've
kind of
seen
what
them,
that's
Margera
the
Williams-
choice. I think again, I always tell people to listen to David Bowie's song "Rock and Roll Suicide" about how young entertainers are made to make choices that they're too young to be making, and I'm sure that's what it is. It's essentially like selling your soul. And
Yeah.
because okay, if somebody comes to you and you're 18-year-old, like as an 18-year-old, I knew some things in the world, but I don't know a fraction of what I know now, and you know I'm 37 now, so that was over half my life ago. But I'm imagining if somebody comes to me as an 18-year-old in the state of mind I was in at 18, and they say, like, listen, if here you got to give your soul up, Zach, but man, you're going to be rich and famous, and they just put it like that, but you don't really understand. You're like, okay, give my soul up. Okay, well, yeah, whatever that means. If I'm going to be rich and famous, okay. I could see how maybe you make these dumb decisions as a young person, especially if the people who are selling you the deal aren't being forthright, because maybe it's kind of like they're just like, yeah, whatever, I'm going to do that. But then as time goes on, they kind of get indoctrinated more and more into what they've signed up for. And that's how you go from Beyonce singing about, you know, independent woman to like doing a music video where it's all black and dark and satanic and some messed up message. You just see how it happens with all these entertainers. They come out like looking nice and clean, and then it's like, whoa, well, what happened in the last 3, 4, 5 years? Something is way different. So...
Well, hey, like you go back, I know how you went down when you were 18, I think you said, and you were thinking about signing up for the military. That's almost, to me,
true.
I look at that.
You're right. It's the same. It is the same.
Almost like a proposition for your soul, you know?
It is the same. All of this is connected. The same evil people that control the military, they control our entertainment. Absolutely, you're right. Too young to choose it. Yeah, you're right. That's a great comparison.
And just thinking how the RFID chip is tied into that in one way or another, we know it is. It's military technology. So that's what sickens me the most about the military and why I'll never support anything in that sector. But just to kind of tie it back into the Gemini notes I was making here with myself, I was actually born on June 19th, which is very interesting to think how King James was born on June 19th as well. I was also born in 1993, so I'm 27 now, but I was born in 93. And 93 is kind of like a Masonic number. I mean, I know 93 Saturn equals 93 in Gematria, and 93 is just kind of like, I've always seen that pop up in one way or another.
Hold on. The commercials are working now, so sit tight. We're on the commercial break. It just started working. We'll be right back, everybody.
It's going to go the other way. Josh Naylor fading back, and it's gone. Second pitch of the game. Byron Buxton muscles up.
And where he's at, where he stands in the box,
what is going on?
What a great swing, you know?
Wait a minute.
I mean, to stay back.
And Donaldson clocks that
what
one to
going
deep
on?
left. Forget about it. The Twins go back-to-back to start the game.
Talk about energy and what he does up the middle. And
where's that coming from? Oh, I thought it was a commercial. I think it was the ESPN webpage in the background. I'm sorry, man. It wasn't a commercial. It was the webpage in the background. My fault. I thought that the sound just came back. But he already hung up. We'll go out to Bothell. Sorry about that, caller, but that was weird.
Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Hey, man, how are you?
Not too bad. How about you?
Doing all right. Sounds like Bryson.
Yes, it is.
Yeah?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, what's new, man?
I'll keep it short and sweet. One thing that the last caller brought up was the rapper Gunna and how he's a Gemini. And one thing I think that's interesting about that, because I'm in like the hip hop world, I'm a producer and such. One of Gunna's producers, his stage name is Taurus, right? And that's the other astrological sign. I don't know much about astrology, but I do find it interesting that one of his producers has a stage name named after one of the zodiac signs. So probably look into that more. But main point of my call tonight, I'm not sure if I'm drawing a blank on if this has been found yet, but if you go to Matthew 7:15 in the King James Bible, King James Version, it reads, "Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves." And so if you copy that and you paste it into the calculator, it equals 1018 in the English ordinal, which reminds of the date event 201 happened, the same which 3 years prior to event 201 was also the same day exercise Cygnus happened, and it also reminds of Luke 10:18.
Yeah.
Satan and lightning and all that. So.
Yeah, and that's a pretty infamous verse there. That is interesting. What else is weird that I see in the gematria that day is the 422, like April 22nd, which was the date Rambo was just talking about at length. That's kind of funny. So.
Yeah, and then the Society of Jesus equals 224.
Yeah. And that movie Minority Report starts on that day, April 22nd, 2054.
Yeah, and then I just remembered something about the SPARS. Some caller called in about the SPARS simulation, and I bet he didn't know the document was 89 pages long. Virus equals 89.
Good one.
And yeah, so
89 is the 24th prime, so it starts the year after 2024. 2020.
And then Corona equals 2024. That'll be the. I don't know when they're gonna say this. I don't know if it'll ever. I'm not assuming it'll ever be over. That would be foolish of me. But
well, like I said, like I predicted at the beginning, I thought that this phase of whatever we're in right now will go through 2022. Not to say it's going to get better after that, but just because that's the year of the tiger, and they started with all the tiger stuff at the beginning, and the first animal to get sick was a tiger, and then they had the people in Wuhan. Essentially closed into their homes for 76 days, and tiger equals 76. So the Chinese year of the tiger starts February 2022.
You know what's interesting? I'm looking. I just typed in SPARS into the calculator. SPARS is 73, the 21st prime. SPARS is also 19 in the full reduction cipher. So COVID-19 transitioning to SPARS. Not sure, but I mean. Regardless, no matter what boogeyman they have up, same thing with 9/11. If 9/11 happened in Seattle, I mean, the restrictions that the Patriot Act would still have become a thing, and the restrictions would still be the same. And that's the same with this. So whatever boogeyman, whatever the next strain is that we should be afraid of, it's not going away. So buckle your seatbelts. We're in for the long haul.
Yeah, or overthrow what... Yeah, it's like either we need to overthrow what's going on, or this is going to be going on for a long time. So, yeah. Appreciate it, Bryson. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too. You have a good night. All right. He's a truth seeker and a producer. Again, if you guys aren't subscribed to Bryson's channel, he's our resident 15-year-old who's, even though he's only 15, he's way ahead of him. He's very mature. I got to meet him in person, and he pounded pavement with us all day in Seattle, and he was very persuasive. And if you talk to him, he's been following the work for a little more than a year now, but I mean, you'd think he's been here a lot longer because he really knows the information, and he's obviously very smart because he memorized a lot of the key patterns very thoroughly, very fast. Anyway, let's go out to Mark. I believe, I'm not going to say your name actually. Let's go out to 720 in Colorado. What's up, 720? Oh, how come when I went to him it hung up? Sorry, Colorado. If you phone back in, I will look for your number to call back in. Sometimes I go to people and it disconnects. I don't know why. I don't know if they're hanging up or if it's some sort of glitch in the system. Let's go out to 618. What's up, 618? Hold on, 618, I'm going to come back to you. I think you're driving, and wherever you are, your signal's real bad right now, but I will come back to you, so just sit tight. I'll come back when the signal's better. I can hear the car moving, and yeah, it's just like he's probably in a bad spot. Let's go out to Bart in Chicago. What's up, Bart?
Hello?
Yeah, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Hold on, I'm going to take you off speaker. All right. Yeah, I'm just calling to make an announcement. We're finally organized in Chicago. We've got about, I don't know, between 5 and 7 people. We're going to the vaccination site at the United Center. I made an announcement on Free to Find Truth. I am going to change the time. It's going to be at 1 o'clock, but it's this Saturday, May Day. And so we're going to be on Washington Street because that's the side where it has like the parking for the people, and that's kind of like where people stand and to get in and stuff like that. So we're going to, we've got a bunch of signs ready to go, and I just want to make an announcement for people who want to meet us out there at 1 p.m. Saturday, Washington Street by the United Center. So United Center is actually on Madison Street. Washington Street is the one next over. And if you're from Chicago, you'll know. So we've got Jamie going. I've got a couple people on. I want to give a shout out to Nathan. And her handle is Roseanne on Free to Find Truth, but it's Michelle. If you guys are connected, if people who know Michelle, she's very active on there. And they're going to be tweeting the event out for me. And Nathan said he's got a pretty good follow. Well, he said he's got a decent following, but people love to retweet his stuff. So hopefully, maybe we'll get some more people out there. So if you're in the Chicago area, it's happening this Saturday, 1 o'clock.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you for everyone that's supporting me on Free to Find Truth. I'm getting a lot of likes for the event, and we're looking forward to it. We're going to be filming it. My son's going to come with me, and he's gonna operate the camera. And so I'll have video. I'm just not sure if I can upload it to YouTube because it might be taken down. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, this is awesome, and again, this makes me really happy to see, because this is my vision with Free to Find Truth, is that people would come together in the communities, organize, network, go out and pound pavement, get the word out, and this is beautiful. Well done, Bart. You have done a great job making this happen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. You're the one that inspired people, and I connected with Nathan yesterday. We spoke for 2 hours, and Nathan, interesting thing, he said that, he thought he knew he wasn't alone. He just didn't know where to find the people that think like him. And he found the community, he found your work, and your website, the hard work that you put in, it's starting to take shape, and people are connecting, and appreciate that. I'm getting people to join Free to Find Truth. And what else we made was I made a flyer that we're going to be handing out. It's a QR code, and it's a flyer that piques interest, because all it says is scan me and you will see. And that scan takes people to, I put together a blog post that has like all pertinent information to, I'm going to add the Bill Gates thing, but I got stuff on there about the PrEP Act, which PrEP Act just, you can't sue the companies because of the PrEP Act. So if there's any wrongful death or injury, you know about this stuff. So basically, if you, I'm going to post another post on Free to Find Truth with the link for people who can't scan it. But I put together a real good blog post that has a lot of good information. I got the Event 201 on there and a lot of other stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome, Bart.
All right.
I'd love to hear it. I can't wait to hear the updates. Are you guys are going to be streaming it?
We should. Maybe I should open up a Twitch account and stream it on Twitch like you do.
Yeah, do that. The best way to stream on Twitch through your phone is if you download the Streamlabs app and then just plug in your Twitch account. It makes it really easy, and it works, and it's free. So.
Okay. Cool. I'm very familiar with Streamlabs. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll do that, and we'll stream it for sure.
I'll be looking on your page what your account is, because I definitely want to tune in and check that out. So Love it, Bart. Thank you,
Okay.
man. Yeah, keep up the great work.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right. You have a good one. Bye.
Well, very cool. Very cool. And I hope what Bart's doing will inspire some more people to do it in their community. Again, when I set up this website, this was the vision right here, that things like this would happen. So these people are really supporting this community. I see a Gematria Effect News hoodie. You know, I like the signs here a lot that they've made too. I'd read them out loud, but YouTube would shut us down. And I see this one's a play on the sign that I've been using, but I actually like theirs better. Take off your mask. The only thing contagious is your smile. And very good. I like it. So again, if you guys are in the Chicago area, reach out to Bart. And his numbers are growing. The other week there were, I believe, 3 or 4 of them, and he said there's 6 this week, so the numbers are growing there. And again, Chicago's a big place. I mean, that group could grow to be really big in the near future if they keep at it and keep having success. Once people start seeing a crowd, you know, you see 3 guys on the corner, okay, that's interesting. 6, hey, that's quite a few people. You know, the next turnout, who knows, maybe there's 12 people there, and then maybe all of a sudden, next thing you know, they got a group of 100 people in the Chicago area who are fed up and willing to get out the word, and, you know, they're linking up. They're using Free to Find Truth. But yeah, this is cool. The community learning from each other. Somebody called in, you know, a couple months back about how we got to start using QR codes. And for everyone who's like, Zach, somebody sent me the QR codes on the flyers. If anyone's asking me if I've made mine yet, I have not. And part of the reason is I'm not super motivated where I am right now, because I go out of my corner, but nobody walks in this town, man. Everybody just drives by, and it's like I don't have a QR code to hand out to anybody right now. But if I was in a different city like Chicago, where there's, you know, a bustling city, I do need to get it made, though. And guess I could do it and make trips to Portland and Seattle. So, but yeah, for my little excursions on the corner right now, it's not quite necessary yet. There's hardly anyone to talk to that walks in this town. Anyway, let's go back out to the callers, and I believe we got Marco on hold. What's up, Marco?
Zach.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. How you doing, man?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Got a tip on. Well, actually, let me tell you this quick note. Don't forget that April 22nd is also Earth Day as well. Earth Day equals 44, which of course that kill number also equals 37. I got a tip from. Can you hear me, Zach?
Yeah. And good observation on the date.
Okay. No doubt. Got a tip from Ms. Cool Gemini, you know, real good lady in the chat. She told me about Sade, the you know, the singer, the performer, whatever. You know, she's Nigerian, British, considered or whatever. But she said that her song "Cherish the Day" was in. She's basically listened to another YouTuber, and they didn't give any gematria on it or anything, but they said the song "Cherish the Day" is connected to 9/11. Well, you know, I had to dig deep and, you know, see what I could find, and I found a lot. So basically, if you just say the word "cherish" by itself, that equals 119 and 38, the reverse of the 9/11, just off the top. If I break down her name, Sade, that equals 79 and 25, like death, you know, instead of the 97 and the 79 and the 25 like death. Some people would say her whole name is Sade Adu. Well, that equals 55 like Satan and also the Boule. It equals 19 like chaos, and it also equals 44 like kill. Now, Sade Adu is not her real name. Her real name is Helen Fola Sade Adu. So her first name, Helen, also equals 44, and it also equals 19 like Sade Adu. Her full name, Helen Fola Sade Adu, equals 133, just like her song Cherish the Day. 133, of course, we know is the government number, the White House number. So it's kind of fitting that they would kind of get this artist, you know what I mean, to do this ritual, I guess.
Sure.
That name also equals 83. Death, of course, equals 83, and she was signed in 1983. This video, they did a video of the song. The video is exactly 4 minutes and 24 seconds. Well, if you write out 4 minutes and 24 seconds as words, it equals 407, which of course becomes 47. It equals 128, which I look at as 38. It equals 349, which is the 70th prime. Again, cherish equals 70. Cherish the day equals 70. Airplanes, not guns, equals 70, because that's what they use instead of weapons. They use those airplanes. When this happened, when 9/11 finally happened, she was 42 years old. She says in the song, at the end of the song, which I never realized is not a very long song, like as in terms of lyrics. She just keeps repeating the same thing over and over. But basically at the end, she keeps chanting, I cherish the day. I cherish the day. And she says it 5 times. Well, 5 equals 42, 24, 66, and 21. Twin, the word twin, has 4 out of 4 of the exact same match. The word twins with an S equals 22. So it makes me, of course, think about the Twin Towers. The Twin Towers equals 49. It also equals 59, like the year that she was born. She was born January 16th, 1959. That's, of course, we also know as the Negro number, and it's also the Freemasonry number. This whole thing, I have a good 77 for you as in terms of this whole thing, because we believe that it was done by our government. And I found Friendly Fire. Friendly Fire is another 77 for you, Zach. You can add that to your 77 list.
Yeah, that fits in for sure. That's funny. Hey, I was just reading about the album it's on. It's on the album Love Deluxe. And
yeah,
it says that.
I need to get to it, Zach.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to ruin it. I bet you already got it. All right, I'm going to let you do it. Okay.
No, you're good. You're good. That's one of the parts I didn't get to yet. Basically, yeah, Love Deluxe equals 44, like Kill. It also equals 46, like Sacrifice. It also equals 145, like that Catholic number, how we talk about, what is it, the Catholic books and everything?
Right.
Also, I like to add that since it came out in 92, George H.W. Bush was the president at the time, which makes total sense, right? Because he's the one that talked about the New World Order. You get what I'm saying? This album, Love Deluxe, Cherish the Day, is the 4th single to their 4th album. Love Deluxe is their 4th album, and Cherish the Day is the 4th single from that album. There's your 44. It makes me say we need to check the 4th album of a lot of people's, of their works, and then see what's the fourth single that they brought out.
Well, speaking of 4, here's what I was about that album. It says here in its Wikipedia that the Recording Industry Association of America certified that album 4 times platinum on November 9th, 94, and I'm thinking, okay, that's the other 11/9 date, 9/11/11/9, the day the Berlin Wall fell. But then 94 is big too, because the World Trade Centers opened on the 94th day of the year in 1973. They opened April 4th, 4/4/73. And then that's the 94th day of the year, and the word terror is 94, but World Trade Center is also 94. So I find it interesting because somebody will look at the lyrics. I was just reading lyrics, and I mean, if you read the lyrics without like listening to the way it's said, but just the concept to cherish the day, and we know how these New World Order types work that control the movie studios and the music studios. They're putting their symbolism, their thoughts, their concepts in there. I'm sure that is a day they cherish. They essentially turned the whole world in their direction, and it was a big direction shift at the time for people who weren't alive then. I mean, like a lot of people living then probably thought there probably really wasn't ever going to be another major war. It's kind of like the noise we'd been getting for the last 10, 15, 20 years, and then all of a sudden, 9/11 happens, and it feels like, well, it's turned into perpetual war. But yeah,
Big
cherish
facts,
the
man.
day.
I like the way you put all that. That's big facts. Real talk, man.
Well, it is because I mean, again, I can still think of what they were teaching us in high school because I graduated right before 9/11. I graduated in 2001. I was in my second week of college when 9/11 happened. I still remember what they were telling us. Like in our science classes, we were learning that we were the first generation that was all going to live to be at least 100 years old, and there was going to be so many advancements, and a lot of disease and illness would be totally wiped out in our lifetime. A lot of speculation how there probably wouldn't be any more significant wars. All that was just like so far off from the truth. It's like, look at us now 20 years later. We're the first generation that's expected to live less time on the earth than our ancestors in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it just goes to show it's all mind control. They're just telling you. It's just like right now how they're like the news is like, ooh, there actually might be some signs of inflation. It's like, have you been to the grocery store? Some things have definitely jumped up in price. The things are going to go up with what they're doing with money. So anyway, go ahead, Marco. Sorry.
No, you good, bro. You spitting all facts, man. It's called a build. You know what I'm saying? It's called a conversation, too. You speak, then I speak. We act like we got walkie-talkies in our hand, and we don't talk over each other. That's what men do.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's difficult, though. It's more difficult to do that on radio, though, than when you're in the room with somebody, because, like, you pick up on their nonverbal cues, and you can see that their mouth wants to move, so radio can be trickier, but yeah, you go ahead, friend. You had some other great points, and I stopped that, so you got it.
No worries, bro. I cherish the day. Again, that's what she kept chanting at the end. That equals 236. Now, domestic terrorism equals 236. So, that's another interesting point.
Hold on. Did you already say this? Did you already say... Okay, I can't. Maybe somebody on Wikipedia is messing with us right now. Have you seen on the Cherish the Day Wikipedia right now? It says it has two different dates on here, but it says that the single released on September 11th, 93 for Cherish the Day.
Right. That's because that's the U.S., Zach. I was going to get to that. That's the U.S., but if you're talking about the U.K., it was 7/17/93.
I see that, yeah.
So let me make that point. From 7/17/93 to 9/11/2001 was 97 months and 25 days. Did you hear that?
Yeah, 97, the 25th prime. And just to remind people, 93 is the year of the World Trade Center bombing. That's the year that happened.
Exactly. Yep. That day too, 7/17/93, that was a date that had 136 numerology. If you write out 136 as words, it equals 253, which is the 22nd triangular number. So back to the Twin Towers again. You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Love Deluxe, the album, the album always comes out before the single, so it actually came out in 92, again, while George Bush was still the president or whatever. But it came out 10/26/1992. That was a date with 147 numerology. Freemason, of course, equals 147. I'm going to wrap it up with this, and I've taken enough time. I know it's a lot of people on hold. But, she's considered to be, she's good with, relationships and stuff. Some people listen to it just to chill and kind of vibe out a little bit, but a lot of people listen to Sade when they just had a breakup, man, when they're depressed, you know what I mean? So what's interesting is that depressed equals 95. The date she was born had 95 numerology. So again, depressed equals 95, 41, 148. Airplanes equals 95, 41, and 148. It's just absolutely crazy for her. And Cherish the Day, the actual name of the song equals 65 as well. Epic Records, who she is signed with, equals 65. And Terrorist equals 65. And I'll leave it at that, Zach. I can really keep going. This is like a web that's on right here. So this is a fine right here. Big shout out to Miss Cool Gemini.
Appreciate that. Great work, Marco. Thank you.
Definitely, man. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for taking my call and everything, man.
Of course. You have a good night, friend. Thank you.
You too, bro. Later.
This been a minute since Marco called in. It's good to hear Marco. Let's go out to Connecticut. What's up, Connecticut? Oh, man, they disconnected too. I don't know why. And I don't see that Houston called back in. I think it's Delaware. How you doing today, man?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Not too much. Yeah, sorry I didn't call in last week. Yeah, I went to go see my family up in Delaware and whatnot, and I recently found out my aunt died back in January, and I found out she was a Freemason of the Order of the Eastern Star. Supposedly she was somewhat high up, and she was a part of the Ward of the Matron. And I don't think I told you though, but yeah, my grandfather is a Freemason. He has a degree with the Ancient Accepted Scotch Rite of Freemasonry. He has a degree with Tubal Cain Society. If I'm not mistaken, he has another one too with a White Lodge. I'm not sure if it's like the York Rite or Jester, but I wanted to just elaborate. The last time I listened, I was listening to Rambo, and he was talking about the obelisk, and I just wanted to elaborate on that. But long story short, there's a phrase in Latin. I really can't pronounce them, but it's in English. It's the stone which the builders refused has become the head cornerstone. That phrase equals 74, just like checkered floor, and that goes back to the Masonic apron, which originated from the covering of fig leaves, adopted by Adam and Eve after the fall. Checkered floors and Masonic lodges dates back to the Egyptians, where it was used to track the travel of time and seasons. And I was on the phoenixmasonry.org website, and I was reading something about the phrase that's in Latin. If you write it out in Latin, it's spelled EHBENMOSUHABNIM. Yeah, I really can't pronounce it. I kind of having a. It's Eben Maus Habenin, if that's anything close to it.
Okay. And did you look up what the phrase means?
That phrase means. Where is it? The stone which the builders refused has become the head cornerstone. And the plump serpent, who is the messenger of the sun, he was the god of Quetzalcoatl in Mexico and Peru. He was called Amero. From the later name comes our word America. Amero is later translated, quote, Manly P. Hall.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool.
So this has to do with something. This relates back to something that has to do with the laying of the plump serpent and the Great Seal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found it really interesting that Rambo was talking about that, and I had some information about the obelisk and the obelisk in Freemasonry.
Right. Yeah. The more you study, the more. I was just gonna say, yeah. The more you study, the more you're reading some Manly P. Hall, you're listening to Rambo, you hear somebody else, you just start to see, because it's like consciousness. You become aware of things, and then you just start to see how more and more of it fits together and comes together. And it's just like, wow, all that time I never knew this. That's what it is when you research and learn things, and not enough people are researching or learning anything. So.
Right.
That's why. It's amazing to think in the information age. If you survey, America, probably way more than 90% of America still doesn't know anything about Building 7 on September 11th in New York. And again, if people did know that, they'd have a different perception of 9/11. But still, just the fact that people don't do any research, they don't question, they don't read things. I mean, it's why society is where it is. Mark Passio, the point he always makes, and I don't know what to think about Mark Passio. I mean, the guy drives me nuts as much as I like him, but the thing is, he makes a good point about the Latin language, and he says the same word for free is the same word for book, which in their language is liber, and it means book and it means free, and it's like that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, if you read, if you have knowledge, then you're probably more likely to live a free life. If not, if you're ignorant, then you're easily taken advantage of, and that's why most people are happy ignorant slaves. Well, they're not really happy, but they're happy enough ignorant slaves in America, and they could be a lot happier. The thing if they wised up and learned a few things and saw what needs to be overthrown, that's reducing everyone's quality of life.
I agree.
Yeah. So, go ahead, though. I interrupted you.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say something about, have you ever seen the tattoo or the tattoo letters MDCCLXXVI? I've been seeing that on a lot of people, like tattooed and.
That's a year. It's a big number. Yeah, it's Roman numerals. I forget what letter is what right now, so I'd have to write it all down and look at it. But that's a number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there I was trying to figure out is there some type of meaning behind it?
I'm sure it's a significant year in Roman history. Yeah. So I'd probably just calculate what that number is and then look up.
I'm looking at the I'm looking at the Phoenix Masonry website, and it's got it on there, and it says in the zenith an eye in a triangle surrounded with a glory proper over the eyes. These words Inuit Codex on the base of the pyramid with the numerical letters that I just read out. Underneath the following motto: Novus Ordo Seclorum.
Yeah, that's on the dollar bill.
Among those who helped design the Great Seal of the United States, the following are known to have been Masons: Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, William Churchill Houston, and William Barton.
Yeah.
So I guess there's some deeper meaning with the numerical letters. I see a lot of people tattoo with it on their arms and whatnot, and I'm just trying to kind of figure out what is that supposed to mean, or why are
Yeah, it's the year.
Is it some type of mark or something, or?
It's the year. It's the number. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a good little project. Calculate the year and then see what happened in that year in history. So.
Yeah, I think I might just do that. But yeah, I love your book, man. Yeah, I've been trying to get people on and spreading the knowledge and telling people about the coronavirus and relating that whole number with 201 and event 201 and just trying to wake people up. And some people are trying to lean towards my way, and some are just I don't want to hear any of that. But I mean, I know how that goes. Just trying to get people to actually wake up, because this whole coronavirus thing, it's obviously a scam. You mean tell me out of 188 countries that they're all that some of them haven't experienced this? Because I've seen videos and whatnot of other people in other countries that I probably never heard of, because I don't even know of all 188 countries, and I'm sure that there's countries out there who haven't even been on lockdown or experienced any of this ever since March 2020. But the news isn't showing that. And I was trying to tell my friends that the news isn't showing what they want to show. The news is only showing what they can make money off of. They're not going to put something positive on the news. And I keep trying to tell my friends that all these shootings, with the police, they're not real. They're made up fiction. It's just that how in the hell can a person's body sit in the middle of a street for 4 to 5 hours and they dump the same body that was laying in the street in the back of a police vehicle and take that same body to a museum in Chicago, and the elementary school go see that exact same body and they tell them kids that it's a plastic dummy? I mean, is this in the video of the dude in Chicago, what is his name? Dante Wright getting shot. I watched the video, the edited version of the video, and it's just you don't even see any blood. You don't even see any blood or any type of like like all you hear is like the gun go off, and the gun going off sounds funny, and it's just. I just try and tell people like most of this shit is complete fiction. Like we don't even know if half these people are even real or if they're crisis actors. Like the whole thing with supposedly George Floyd's brother. Like what? Get out of here. When have they ever said anything about his brother during the time of when he died? It's like come on, man. Like is this some random person off the street paid to say, hey, I'm his brother, and that's pretty much it. Like with all these shootings and pretty much the people who get up on the television screens, it's like it's the same. It's all just the same.
Indeed, yeah. They make up the news for us each day to keep us thinking the way they want us thinking. And like you were saying earlier, the reason they push so much fear on the news is because they know the psychology of fear is it causes people to go out and buy things. They're gonna buy whatever it is to not have that problem or avoid that problem. So anyway,
yeah,
I appreciate it, man. Great call as always, friend. Man.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a good night. Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You too.
See you. Okay, normally like the music would be coming on and we'd be going to commercial, and I think I actually just talked right through the last commercial break. And I guess it's fine tonight because I'm not. Sometimes on the TFR broadcast, this only started like 6 months ago, but just so you guys know how it is for me, when I finish a show, because all this stuff is computerized, the call board, the timed windows, I just follow the prompt on the screen essentially. But about 6 months ago, it seemed like we started having more glitches than we'd even had in the past. But then at the end of the show, what was new is normally at the end of the show, I have to title the show and write a little blurb about the show, and then it archives the show. But there's even been some shows in recent months that just never got archived because the thing never came up to archive them. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if... Chris has pointed out in the past, he said it does seem like TFR has more problems when my show comes on than any other show. And he was... If you guys remember, September 11th, 2018, we had all kinds of problems with the network. But he said that we were definitely being hacked that night. We were doing the anniversary episode of the September 11th. Hold on. Well, it is I know the people on TFR don't hear right now. Well, unless they're hearing my voice over the commercials. But I'm going to go get a drink of water. The show does start back in 2 minutes. We'll take your calls for the last hour, but I'm going to get a drink of water real quick. It's from that gummy. Yes, it is. Okay, the break's almost over, so I'm just going to start when... Or I guess it doesn't even matter. I'll interact with the chat for a little bit here, but yeah, we still have about a minute until... Normally we would stop hearing the introduction and all that. The chat is fast tonight. Disambiguation saying, can we hit some more likes? The like ratio is actually not bad. It says there's 800 people watching and a little more than 400 likes. So that's not bad to have half as many likes as viewers. But yeah, I don't know why it's so hard for people to hit the like button. Okay, I think we're almost back from the commercial break. Somebody says, huh? I don't know. I don't know why that's happening for you, Outlaw. That should not be happening. Okay, True Seeker. I am going to assume we're back. Again, if you got here late tonight, it's one of those glitch nights. We don't have any sound on this end. I can't hear the commercials, the TFR breaks, the music, the intro music, the outro music. It's just mute. And it makes it a little bit tricky to know when I'm supposed to be speaking in case somebody else is hearing the music, but I'm not. But let's keep it moving. We got about 15 people on hold, and we have an hour left to show. That means everyone who's on hold right now, I will get to all of your calls, and let's go out to Atlanta first. Atlanta, what's up? 404.
Yep. Yo, so, you got the calculator up, right?
Yeah? What do we got?
Yeah. If you go to Terrence Clark, like for people who really think that ritual sacrifice or ritual killing is like, you know, people who think the Terrence Clark shit is not like a purposeful death, all you gotta do is just show them this and it'll just shut them up. If you go to Terrence Clark last post and you go through the comment section, Rich Paul commented something scary hours ahead, and this was before he died. And I covered this in my own video, so you can just watch it if you want to, but if you just want me to explain it, that phrase, scary hours ahead. And, you know, Rich Paul is the CEO of Clutch Sports and all that. But that phrase, scary hours ahead, equals 67 and 86 backwards, just like human sacrifice and blood sacrifice. Of course, it was a 67-day numerology.
This is Jay with Open Eyes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta find this video. Hold on.
And also I can talk.
I'm trying to find. Is it on Jay with Open Eyes 3?
Yeah, it's on 3. I can't post on number 2.
Okay. All right, go ahead. I got your video up here. I'm gonna scan through and see if I can find the post part where it is in your video.
Yeah, he commented that phrase scary hours ahead, and then he commented, and then in that phrase he was 67 day numerology, and they say he's 6'7", and it's like when you look up the article, it's like it really just seems like they're going out of their way to purposely mention he's 6'7". It's like part of the sick mockery, like how they always emphasize numbers. Because when I looked up his death, I automatically got an article, and it automatically said in the first paragraph that he was 6'7" for no reason, and they just needed to put that in there. But it was also a day with 47 numerology, and they say he crashed because he ran a red light, and red light equals 47. The same way Clutch Sports equals 47, and Rich Paul is also 47, and Terrence is 47. And Rich Paul is also 128, and he died 128 days after Rich Paul's birthday. And he died 138 days from his own birthday, and his name, Terrence Clark, he was 138. So I just wanted to include that because that just makes it all the more undeniable, like especially the scary hours ahead parts. Like, so, you know, and people can get mad. That's why I don't get it. It's like people, well, I mean, I get it because people are stupid, but, I mean, people get mad when you try to tell them this shit is going on, and they get mad, but it's like you're the reason why this shit even continues to happen, because it's like you choose to not acknowledge this shit goes on. If you stop supporting these niggas and stop going to their games, stop buying these tickets and shit, you wouldn't be empowering them to do this. Like, so
that's exactly right. That's why I was saying I put out a short video today, just on the latest NFL death. The former Tampa Bay player, age 33, just passed. By the numbers, of course, Geno Hayes. And at the end of the video, I was just saying, like, all the people that continue to deny what's going on, you guys are essentially accomplices in the murders of all these young people. And yeah, they might have signed up for what's happening to them, but you know, when he just signed up, because he just signed with Clutch Sports along with Brandon Boston Jr., who survives. They just signed, and man, he gets to find out how short your expiration date can be. For him, it was hours later.
And then it's like, if he really is dead, it needs to be justice for like his family and all that other stuff. It's like, That's what people need to know about this information. Because imagine, somebody, dying and, getting actually murdered, and then you being led to believe all the time that they just died in a car accident. It's like there would be no justice. Like that would be, you know what I'm saying? And like that's not right. But also, I saw you going over the Georgia Guidestones and how Georgia equal 44 in genocide and execution. Type in, the number five, how the number 500 million is on there, the population we need to be up under. If you type in 500 million, only using the numbers like 500 million, it equals 44 the same way Georgia and genocide equal 44.
Oh, you're saying if you,
so we really could.
Wait, how's
Yeah,
it?
so
How's
we
it?
really could.
Wait, hold on. How does it equal that?
The full reduction. 500 million.
Oh, I see what. Hold on.
Yeah, use the number.
I see what you. That's interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah.
The other thing that creeps me out about that is it got that.
Might be something.
Well, what else creeps me out about that is it got the 110 in it, and that number is the prophecy number that they put in all their big rituals.
Yeah.
Again, for people who don't,
it's really disturbing.
For people who don't know this, look at this. Just with the most pure cipher, I'm getting rid of every other cipher up here. Just the most pure cipher. All these words are 44. Look at this. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Georgia genocide. When you write out the number 500 and just spell the word million, it is also 44. But Georgia 44, genocide 44, words like executioner 44, military's 44. If you just use the alphabetic order, kills 44. But this number's connected to death. And again, what I've been saying for years is the Georgia Guidestones will turn 44 years old on March 22nd, 2024.
Exactly.
And when I was first starting to talk about this, it was like back in 2013, so it still felt like it was a long way away. Now it's like, man, 2024 doesn't feel that far away, and it's not. So.
Exactly. And yeah, it's sad, man, because it's frustrating because it's like I can't even talk about stuff like that on my channel. It's like I can only talk about sports and the rappers and all that other stuff, but it's like that's not really talking about the agendas. Whenever I talk about anything like coronavirus or the vaccines or really just showing what's up with the vaccines, those videos never stay up. They always get deleted. Like they always get deleted. I can't say anything about Operation Warp Speed being declared the anniversary on the Clay Days or any of that. It's just I can't say nothing about that. It's no point. They just automatically delete it and take it down.
Yeah. There's
even though
very
that's
little you can
the
say.
stuff we really need to know about.
Yeah, there's very little you can say.
And it wasn't like this before, but they really just cracked down on it hard.
Oh, by the way,
I'll leave it there.
Just about the death of this Terrence Clark. He died on LeBron's 114th day of his age, and LeBron's son plays high school basketball there. And it's called Sierra Canyon High School, which is 114, just like LeBron James is 114. And again, it just shows you, man, it's all connected because
people are sick.
Yeah, this player who died went.
These people are fucking sick.
I can't remember right now. If you look it up, one of the two, either Terrence Clark also went to the high school, or Brandon Boston Jr. did. One of those two went to that same high school that his son's at right now. I think it's actually Brandon Boston Jr. who survived, who also went to the high school, but I gotta double check that.
Yeah. And I was having a debate with somebody. They was like, "Oh, black people can't be Freemasons," and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty
That's
sure
not true. That's completely
a lot of
false.
black people that.
That's completely false.
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure it's a lot of black people that become like you got George Floyd, Trayvon Martin father. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
There's entire branches.
The guy who tried to recruit me into Freemasonry in 2014 was a black man. So black people are definitely in Freemasonry.
Yeah.
I think back in the day, I think that was there might have been a time when that wasn't, or there probably still were black Masons, but not as many, because that's kind of why. What's wrong with me? Prince Hall was created. Prince Hall was like Freemasonry exclusive for black men, but I still think
that's what I told him about. He was like, nah, man, nah, that's stupid as fuck. I'm like, bro, all you gotta do is look it up.
Yeah.
But it's just hard.
Well, I appreciate you. Keep up the good work, and I appreciate that even though you're getting censored, you're coming right back, because that's what you got to do. So.
Yeah.
Well, keep up the good work, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night. All right, let's go out to Houston. What's up, Houston? Houston, hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
I'm just listening.
Oh, you're just listening. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. You have a good night.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. You take care. Again, Houston, man, I think a lot of people woke up right after Valentine's Day in Houston. Let's go out to Austin. What's up, Austin?
Hello?
Hello?
I can't hear you that well. Hold on.
Well, how's that? Do I sound better?
No, I had my headphones plugged in, so I don't know. For some reason, it would come through my phone and not my headphones. But thank you for taking my call.
You're very welcome.
So this isn't so much of a decode. It was more of a observation that I had made. I was reading about the 201 and the Jesuit and all of that and how that all came about. So I've been following you, I guess, for, I don't know, maybe just a handful of months and pretty addicted to all your stuff. So I just decided just to look it up and read it and stuff like that. And I was on the, the St. Joseph Press website. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Maybe I've read it, but just off the top of my head, it's not like something just right there. But maybe I've even been to their own website. But go ahead.
So I was reading about it on there, and I was looking at the very bottom and was looking at their at their address, and their address is so it's a Jesuit, I guess, university. The St. Joseph University is a Jesuit university, and I was looking at their address, and their address is 5600 City Avenue, Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
I just thought that was pretty interesting that, 'cause I know that 56 is a huge Jesuit number. And then I was looking at their telephone number, and I know that is, if I'm, just correct me if I'm wrong, but 66, is that comes out to the number of the beast?
Yeah, that's
well?
true. Yes, it does.
So their telephone number, that I'm not sure, I don't know what 60, I feel like 61 is something as well, but I can't really recall it right off the top of my head. But they're like the area code is 610, and then the telephone number starts with 660. And I don't know, is it like, do they purposely, like, even, like, I know that 56 is a Jesuit number, but is it like they will admit that these numbers are their numbers too? I mean, I don't know if that's like a clear question, but
well, I'm sure there's certain people that are in the know within the university, and then there's many that aren't. But I imagine that they do pick those building numbers and those addresses strategically. So there's a lot of examples of that. Just look at the Masonic headquarters in D.C. They'll openly tell you that they wanted the address where they are, 1733. And then in Gematria, Mason equals 17, and Masonry's 33, and modern Freemasonry was created in 1717. And then plus on the outside, they have 33 pillars that are each 33 feet tall. So, I mean, you can tell that the numbers are very exact and symbolic, but they'll tell you on the tour that they wanted the address 1733, but they don't. I think they'll tell you the part about modern Freemasonry in 1717 and, the symbolism of 33 and Kundalini, but they won't tell you the Gematria part, right? That's like the one thing that most people don't have a clue about. So.
Yeah, I guess it's just, I mean, I never doubted your work. I mean, in the beginning, it was I had to like watch a handful of videos just to catch on, and now it's just like, it's like it is undeniable, and I know that a lot of people say that follow your work, but it was just when I read that and I saw that, I was like, it kind of still just like blows my mind how crazy Gematria is. I mean, I know that I've been woken up, I guess, for a little while when 9/11. I mean, I was only in 8th grade when 9/11 happened, but then I think it was Zeitgeist that I watched that kind of like really opened my eyes, because they talked about Building 7, and to me it was like, why isn't it that you can just tell somebody about Building 7 and then automatically like start seeing like shaken awake. You know, like I just don't. I don't know. It's hard navigating life sometimes, just with how asleep people are. But then I found you, and it really just ties everything together and just makes me feel a lot better about, you know, just being awake and being aware, because I don't want to be one of these people that are just falling blindly and getting the jab. And even like people are telling me, their doctors are telling them that it's experimental and they're still okay with getting it. It's just crazy to me. But I really appreciate what you do, and watching you out on the corner, that really is inspirational. And I haven't gone out on the corner yet, but I'm now going to try to get a little bit more active on Free to Find Truth, just to find people in my area, in the Austin area. So I just really appreciate you, Zach. So thank you for what you do.
Well,
and
I
think it's
appreciate
great that
you too.
you stayed and stuck with Michael, because everybody, I saw, like, you know, people just in the chat just, oh, he's not going to show up and do this. But I think just your background with working with homeless teens, and I mean, I think you just you kept giving them the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, I don't know. I just think it's really great what you're doing. So thank you.
And what people need to understand, for people who are watching what I'm doing on the corner, and Michael and I we're working on the path, but again, you have to remember that these people, like Michael, he hasn't had any, his parents died when he was a child. He's been raised by grandma, and I got to meet grandma, and grandma's barely hanging in there. I mean, so he's had a rough life. But the thing is, like, these people, they feel like they don't really have anyone that they can, like, totally trust in this world, and there's no one that's reliant in the. So if they can have somebody like that, it can kind of, sometimes it'll help them get them out of the hole that they're in. And he realizes he's dug a hole for himself. I mean, he even puts that in his own terms. I'll share more about that another time, but I appreciate that you're supporting the work and using the work, and getting more active. And thanks for joining Free to Find Truth. And I do it for people like you. I mean, there's not enough of us in the world, but I know that we exist out there. We need to figure out how to organize and network better. So thank you for being part of the community.
Yeah, of course, you're welcome. And I'm not going anywhere. I'll definitely still support and do what I can. I literally got fired from my job for just the whole mask policy. Like, I really didn't care. It wasn't worth it to me to just constantly wear a mask when I know that it's all bullshit. And so I'm like, I go into stores all the time without my mask on. I'm now welcoming the confrontation. I'm like, now I'm just every time I get into a confrontation, it's just, I learn from each one and how I'm going to handle the next one.
Sure.
And because it's just, at this point, it's just, I'm not going to coddle anybody anymore. It's like, I'm not wearing my mask just to make other people feel comfortable. Like, I'm past that point. Like, I'm sorry if you don't feel comfortable, that you've been lied to, that,
right.
You know, that you literally think, like, it's me. Like, one of my coworkers, basically, I'm pretty sure he had a big hand on why I got fired. But, you know, and he's extremely overweight and unhealthy, and he was worried I was going to kill him. And I'm like, you didn't seem to care about that when you were stuffing your face with all this unhealthy food. You know, it's like, why all of a sudden, now that I'm the healthy person, have to worry about killing people that never cared about their health to begin with, you know?
Right.
So,
isn't it? It is. It is. Yeah, I see that all the time. Just people that are so overweight with their mask. I'm like, wait a minute, these people are worried about their health? Oh my God.
Exactly. So yeah, you just keep every day, like, I tune in with you and what you're doing and stuff. It's just like, I'll actually especially when you're on the corner, or even if, like, any videos that you put out for the day, I'll listen to that, like, have one headphone in and I'll listen to it. And it just, like, gives me more, like, courage to walk around the store. And it's just like, God, it's like, I don't know. It's just very helpful. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Just thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, of course.
Keep up the great work. I look forward to the next call. All right, you have a good night, friend.
Great.
All right, you take care.
Bye-bye.
Right, bye. Okay, let's go out to, you know what? I believe this is Angel. Angel, let me start off by saying thank you. The Cheetos were amazing. And I'm going to try out the gummies next. I haven't gotten into those yet, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
How are you doing this evening?
Not a problem. Go ahead. Hello?
Yeah, you're on. You're on.
Okay.
I'm just saying I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, no problem. You're very welcome.
So I called in because somebody very special to me told me I needed to share this patent with you, and I don't know if you've ever covered it or anything, but I could tell you the number, but I'll put the link for the patent in the chat because you can't really find it anymore. So 1 second.
Let me see. Okay.
There it is.
All right. My screen is getting caught up with the chat. And
Okay, but it's U.S. patent 6506148 and B2.
okay, yeah, it just showed up. Perfect.
Yeah, and I don't know if those numbers are special or anything, but that patent number is basically like mind control through the television. So I just thought I would share, and that was all I really had.
Okay, I will look into this because I did not know about it before. So, but I got the link.
Yeah, it's like electromagnetic manipulation of like the nervous system through the through the screen monitors.
Maybe I actually have heard about this before, and I'd forgotten about it. I might not have looked into this since around 2013. So I'm glad you brought this up. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do some more research. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's I think it's from like 2004, but yeah, it's interesting. It's basically telling you they manipulate you with the TV, and
Right.
now like if you Google the patent, like you can't, it won't come up for me anyway. So.
Huh. Well, they are scrubbing information from the internet. There's things they don't want people to know about. So.
Yeah, it's like Fahrenheit 451.
Indeed, yes, it is. Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Creepy, but I'm glad you like the Cheetos. I remember you said something about Cheetos like maybe a few months ago that if they're in the house, you'll eat them, and I was like, well, maybe these ones will be a good treat.
So, question: did you make those yourself?
Oh no, my homie makes them.
Okay, yeah.
He put his little sticker on the
I kept the package. I was just like,
packages.
what I wasn't sure though
Yeah.
if it was yours. So okay,
No, I don't make them.
okay. Well, tell your friend thank you very much, and of course thank you as well. Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, no problem.
So people are
I'm
like
glad you
Cheetos. These were a special kind of Cheetos, you guys. These were a special kind of Cheetos. So.
Yeah, they're pretty strong. So.
Uh-huh.
I didn't tell you that, but
Yeah,
I'm sure you noticed.
Yeah, I did. They were impressive. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. But yeah, you have a lovely evening, and thank you again. And I am glad you didn't give up on Michael because I did. I'm glad he did show up. So,
Yeah. We still got a ways to go, but I think he really does want to be helped.
At least you're trying.
Yeah, I think he really does want to get out of his situation. He's given me some. He's very honest, and he opens up about things, and he knows that he's at fault. So he's like, it just seems like it's so much together. I said, well, listen, right now you're 19 years old. I said, maybe make the things you want to happen. Don't expect it to happen like in a year or even in months, but like just keep working it day by day. By the time you're 10 years from now, you'll probably be there as long as you stay on the path day after day. So.
Yeah, and it's inspiring because it makes you want to just like appreciate people more and have more patience with people because you don't know what anybody's going through. So.
Exactly, you don't know. So.
Yeah, but yeah, so thank you and keep up the hard work and you have a great night.
Yeah, you too. Appreciate it. Thanks, Angel. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Okay. I think next is Wisconsin. Wisconsin, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well, thank you.
Just to kind of add to what that last caller was talking about with the mind control stuff, General Michael Aquino was, I think, in charge of the psychological operations is an intelligence officer in the U.S. military, and he was also the founder of the Temple of Set, which is basically a satanic organization. And also, I could hear you the entire time when you thought we were on break. The music wasn't playing. I could hear you.
Does that mean there's no commercials either? Is there no commercials going on?
Yeah, I didn't hear any music.
And no commercials either.
I heard you go get your drink of water and everything.
So yeah, that means the commercials aren't even playing. That's weird.
Yeah, I was just calling in though. I saw something about the Kentucky Derby coming up, and it was about one of the riders, Kendrick Carmouche.
The first black jockey since 2013.
Well, I saw another article. I saw that one, and I saw another one that said he could be the first black jockey to win the Derby in 119 years.
Huh, 119.
And I thought that, yeah, with the whole George Floyd thing, I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
Then I also noticed that there's only one horse whose name sums to 147. And it's the 147th Derby.
Yeah, just as a warning, last year there was only one horse that summed to 146, and that horse finished in 13th out of 18 horses that ran that last year. There's only one horse with the 146 connection. But that horse that's the only 147 super stock, what's interesting about that horse, there's a trainer that has two horses in the race. His name's Asmussen. He has super stock and he has Midnight Bourbon. And they're the 22nd and 23rd horses he's ever had in the Kentucky Derby, and he's never won the Kentucky Derby, even though he's considered a Hall of Fame trainer. He's won all the other major events a bunch of times. But the thing about 22 is he has a relationship with 147, and this is the 147th Kentucky Derby. 22 is the Master Builder number in numerology. If you write out Master Builder, it's 147. We've talked about the relationship with 147 and 22 many times, so that's what makes Asmussen's horses really interesting, is that he's never won the Derby, and then he's got the only 147 horse, and he happens to have entered his 22nd and his 23rd horse for this race. So, yeah, we're watching to see what happens there.
And his last name, Asmussen, sums to 51, and the Derby's on 5/1. When you write out his name, Stephen M. Asmussen, it equals 47.
Yeah.
And it's also 47 state numerology.
Yeah. Yeah.
And John T. Ward, the horse trainer that died, he died 5 months and 6 days after Steve Asmussen's birthday. Kentucky Derby.
There's a trainer that has a horse in this race who also has the surname Ward. So I don't know if there's a family connection.
Yeah, and the jockey of Superstock, his name is Ricardo Santana Jr. His name sums to 266, and John Ward died on the 266th day of his age.
That's interesting.
So yeah, there's interesting things there with that horse.
Just so you know, the Kentucky Derby's nickname is Run for the Roses, which equals 201, and the race happens to be 201 days before Asmussen's upcoming birthday, which means it's 164 days after his last birthday. Kentucky Derby's 164, Run for the Roses is 201. So his birthday positioning is really interesting this year as well. And, another thing here's just another thing everybody should know about the race. There's a horse in it called Known Agenda. Known Agenda. And that gematria equals Bavarian Illuminati. It equals 188, like the U.S. dollar bill denominations are the 1, the 2, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100. You add it up, it adds up to 188. And, of course, horse racing money. But what's funny is it got put in the one post. And no horse has won in the one post since 1986, which was 35 years ago. The word I is 35 and the pyramid is 86. And just think about the dollar bill and the Illuminati. So there's some serious symbolism in this race. We're talking about it. We'll have our third discussion either tomorrow night or Friday night. We might have a third and fourth discussion. We'll do one for sure Friday night, possibly one more tomorrow on Patreon. But yeah, we've been breaking down the Kentucky Derby a lot. We know a lot about the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not on your Patreon.
Yeah,
Sorry
it's
if I
okay.
gave away any-
It's okay. Other people need to know stuff too, so we'll put some stuff out there tonight.
And I also one last quick point. I also noticed that John Ward Jr. It's a perfect match with Revelation in all four ciphers, and he died at age 75 days before the start of the NBA Finals.
Well, just so you realize, if you write out Run for the Roses and if you write out Louisville, Kentucky, again, that's where the Kentucky Derby is, they both equal 75 in the most pure cipher, and then he's dead at 75, and then 75 days before the finals, and in lane 2 and 3, you got the King and you got Brooklyn something. It's just like, okay. It's all scripted together,
Run for
man.
the Roses also sums to 78.
Like NBA Finals.
NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the day that he died, April 24th, is the 114th day of the year. And his name, John T. Ward Jr., sums to 66. So that lines up with LeBron James, 114 and 66.
Yeah.
And it was also a span of 251 days before LeBron's next birthday. And April 24th leaves 251 days remaining in the year.
Okay.
Like ritual sacrifice equals 251.
Yeah. Interesting. All right,
But
man.
that was all I had.
Appreciate it. Great
Thanks for
research.
taking my call.
Yeah. You have a good night.
You too.
All right, let's go out to Binghamton. What's up, Binghamton?
Yo, what's going on, Zach?
Good job
Wow,
on
that
your Yankees
Kentucky
yesterday.
Derby. Yeah, they came through with that. I already forget it because like there's just so much, man.
For sure.
And this talk of the Kentucky Derby actually got me all off track too, because like I'm gonna like resubscribe to your Patreon like tonight so I can just like listen to like, because it sounds like you have tons of like good information on it. But the reason why I actually called in right now is I was wondering if you could. I kind of want to like do a decode like out loud for a baseball game tomorrow. So can you go to the Dodgers tomorrow? Like the on the ESPN scores you were on earlier. Can you go to the Dodgers game for tomorrow?
Let me see if I got rid of the ESPN window because it started making noise. But what is it?
There's the Dodgers can get to 17-9, and 179 is the 41st prime, and 41 is like a huge LA number, I think. Like, and if you write out 73 as a word, they're playing the Brewers, and if you write 73 out as a word, it equals 58 in the most pure cipher, and the Brewers can get to 58 or 5-8 at home. And the stadium they're playing in, American Family Field, in the most
that
pure
last
cipher,
that last thing you
94.
did, the last thing you did, I wouldn't do that to decode the sports outcomes, in my opinion. The last thing, the 179 could matter.
All right.
But yeah, again, I'd always
No.
look for stronger riddles because already just the things you're going off of, it's like, yeah, those things are there, but those aren't super confidence builders. But
Right. That's why I want to like tell you like what I'm looking at. Like, thank you for telling me like they're not, because like I'm not sure, like some things I see and I'm like what should I think?
it's
of,
just like
how strong
yesterday.
is that?
It's like if you have in the most pure cipher and both teams have that connection through that number, that's always a really good sign. And then sure enough, New York whoops up on Baltimore yesterday. And if everyone's like, the Yankees beat Baltimore, so what? Tune into this year. Baltimore has a better record than the Yankees as of right now. So, well, until yesterday when they got
Correct.
passed. And then the latest today, they lost again. But they did before that happened. So the odds were there for the Yankees the other day. First time in a decade you've gotten value on a Yankees-Orioles game. So.
Right. And tomorrow the Rays play the Athletics, and I just noticed this really stands out to me that Tampa Bay can get to 6-8 at home with a loss.
Okay.
6-8 at
Just
home
so you
with a
know,
loss.
man, this isn't.
68.
I appreciate it, but just so you know, just like Wednesday night, I don't really do sports decodes on the Wednesday night show. It's just like more about, you know, I know right now I'm not doing Patreon on sports, but just like historically, the Wednesday night radio show is not really like a sports decode show unless we're talking about the Super Bowl or some major event. So.
I know. I thought yeah, I won't like use Wednesday as sports talk anymore. But I thought it was like, I mean, like a lot of the show is like we're just all saying like true stuff. Like it's all like everyone is talking nothing but like true stuff. It's like it's kind of like redundant. So it's like yeah, true. Like you can say yeah, true to like everything people say like on Wednesday nights. It's like yep. But like I thought Wednesday was like we could ask you like anything, but
well,
no, I
just
appreciate it.
yeah, I can think about because I'm not doing
And
sports
I've
right now,
already-
but yeah, just I mean because I've just taught the sports stuff so many times, and yeah, just Wednesday nights just like more calling about current events or if you had a story in the sports world, you know, some interesting things, but like in terms of giving out picks and advice on picks tomorrow, that's not what I've ever really done on the Wednesday show. So.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Have a good night.
And have a good night.
Yeah. All right, let's go out to Glendale, California. What's up, Glendale?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Zach? How you doing, bud? Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for calling in.
Man, we appreciate you and everything you do. I try to tell everybody about you and get so many friends online, and some think I'm a lunatic, and some are on board, so.
I'm in the same boat as you. I mean, my own sister, even after all the years of evidence for the work, she still thinks I'm crazy for doing it, so.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but she'll get there someday. I'm confident.
One can hope.
Couple of things. Two things before I lose my train of thought. Going back earlier with LeBron James and Terrence that got killed in the car accident. I'm just surprised nobody makes a connection with that and Anthony Davis instead of just LeBron James, because Anthony Davis also went to Kentucky.
That's what Rambo did earlier. If you missed Rambo connected it to Anthony Davis.
Okay, I think I missed that segment.
But you're right. I mean, I should have made that connection too because they went to the same school. So.
The very first article on Yahoo, as soon as he got killed, because that was his comeback game. That was Anthony Davis's first game back from injury. And the first thing they post is Anthony Davis scores 4 points, 4 rebounds, and that was it. And that's 44 is like the kill code. We know that.
Yeah. He came back the same day as the car accident?
Same day. He played the same night as the car accident.
Here, I'm putting up his game log right now so everybody can see this. So, yeah, you can see.
He had other stats, but Yahoo just decided to report 4 points, 4 rebounds.
Well, you know, you can see that you can see. I have his stats up on the screen. You can see April 22nd, he made his return. He was inactive for all these games. The last game he was active for was February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Yep, and then he was just back. That ironically, it's coincidence. He's back
That's. I mean, I shouldn't have been missing that the whole time. I mean, that just shows you how sick and just how connected it all is. Again, because Anthony Davis went to Kentucky. The player who died just signed with LeBron, who's Anthony Davis's teammate now in the NBA. But he died right after he signed with LeBron, and he played in Kentucky. Yeah. Wow.
Zach, also this. I know you always say it's mass shooting Wednesdays. So today's Wednesday, and look, lo and behold, in Los Angeles, right here, there was a shooting today, or I guess last night, or where they're reporting it today. I know you didn't get a chance to cover that. I just wanted to point it out.
Wait, there was the shooting in Boone, North Carolina?
No, in Los Angeles, California.
In Los Angeles, I didn't know about that when I heard about the thing. Okay. So they're making.
It says gunman in deadly LA shooting rampage had an arsenal of weapons. Blah blah. Had a legally owned AR-15. I did some research for you ahead of time. Gunman's name was Carlos Lopez, has a 56.
You know what, man?
tag
Look
on
at
him.
that. I already just see why LA today. Today's the 118th day of the year. Los Angeles' birthday is September 4th, the day leaving 118 days left in the year, and Los Angeles, California is 118,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's on the 118th Meridian West. What a joke, man. And a Wednesday.
Yes, sir. The one of the victims, I guess, or supposed victims, you could say, his name was Alexis Carbajal. In English Ordinal, comes out to 118. Let's see. Shooting is 37. Today has a number of 37. In today's date, Gematria. Shooting is 37. Wednesday is 37.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is 37.
Yeah. Perfect ritual.
So I just thought I'd point it out there to you. It was just funny how you always mention it. And today's Wednesday. And I start, it's funny. I actually look for him now on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Yeah, it's just such an obvious ritual. I mean, we always teach about LA being the 118 city on the 118th day of the year. I'm glad you called. I missed this news story today. I didn't even know this happened. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Awesome. It was on the 91 freeway, if that matters.
13th triangular number, LA 13.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's too easy now, I guess. Once you know, it's just too easy after that. And again, just getting other people to find out and know that's the dilemma.
And again, for all the critics who are like, see, you're talking about the 118th day of the year, and its birthday's the day leaving 118, and then you make up or not make up, but people will say that they'll say that I'm picking numbers because I'll point out that Los Angeles burned on November 8th, 118, 2018. Its birthday's the day leaving 118. It's on the 100. I mean, for all the people who think that's cherry picking, to me, I just think you guys are retarded. I mean, these are uncommon things happening in perfect numerical patterns. And not to mention, like, every news story today is all centered on 118, just like it is day after day. And it's just, I can't believe people continue to deny this. It's so obvious. It's so obvious what they do.
It is, but I just think they're so brainwashed with the media and what they look on the television and what Kim K tells them, or Kanye West or whatever in their social medias. That's just what they believe. If a celebrity, if a super celebrity said it, then it must be true. If it was on the news, it must be true. But if someone else thought of it, nope. Who are you? You're not an expert.
Right. That's how they act.
These dumb celebrities are.
Yeah. You got to be on the TV to be an expert. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for that heads up.
Yeah, no worries, man. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I'm glad to share the information. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man. You have a good night. I look forward to the next one.
Absolutely. My name is Marcus, and I'll try to call more often. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you take care. Thank you. All right, let's go out to Austin, Texas. Austin.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah, how you doing?
Oh, good. I wanted to bring to your attention, I mean, I know the list of YouTube channels out there, or channels in general that support your work are pretty slim, but there's one called Space Busters, and they had one video that went over, I think the title of it was Spars Wars.
Okay.
That was a tribute to your work. Thought that you'd find that to be interesting.
So Space Busters is the channel?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to look that up. Space Busters YouTube. All right, I appreciate that. Was there video recently?
It's like it's like 11 or 12 videos back if you look in their video log.
Okay.
Under the general video tab.
Yeah. Let's see. Space Busters, all one word.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And let's see.
That would be the one.
What'd you say the title of the video was?
Spars Wars, like Space Wars.
Here, let me see.
Or Star Wars, rather.
There it is. Oh yeah, I see how they did it with just like the Star Wars logo. Perfect. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, and I got to say, a lot of their other content's very valid. But yeah, I want to say thanks.
Yeah.
And give the heads up.
Very welcome. I appreciate that. Thank you for the heads up.
All right.
All right. You have a good night.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Texas again. We got a lot of callers from Texas. What's up, Texas? 512.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. I just wanted to point out. I saw this one video called the magic frequency, and I think it was 300,000 hertz to 500,000 hertz, and it says that they could kill cancer cells. Basically, it just makes them burst. And I was just thinking, well, who's to say they can increase the frequency and attack other cells, like, immunity cells or red blood cells, and maybe not even just with the 5G. But there's this Dr. Carl Merritt with the K.
Right.
The last name M-A-R-E-T, and he talks about the electromagnetic frequencies and the effects of your health.
Sure.
So if you was looking for that, that's pretty good information.
Doesn't that seem like the kind of
But,
information
I don't think-
everybody should have information like that at this day and age. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and also he has like these handheld devices that could point out the frequencies that are like in your house and whatnot. He talks about like turn off your Wi-Fi, turn off your phone, don't sleep by it, use the speakerphone, don't put that thing up to your ear, And I saw they're saying like India is having like this wave or whatever, and I did some research. Like they don't even have 5G over there right now. But I mean, who's to say that 4G and all that stuff doesn't cause that? They could just increase the frequency, the amplitude, and kill everyone's cells per se. I mean, I don't know. I'm just theorizing here. But along with all the food, all the crap food, and all these new diseases, with all the electronics, maybe it's all like a symbiosis of negative energy for everyone, and the more susceptible to getting sick, it really affects you the most, with like pre-existing conditions and whatnot. There's just some thoughts that run into my mind, and just you just got to be aware of all the hazards that we face, and how we're not even aware. All this technology is still fairly new to us. You know what I mean? It's only been like a couple decades that we've been having this technology around.
Right.
And the effects of the health, we're still not sure. But off that subject, though, I was listening to Patreon the other day for last night, and you mentioned something about like the May 1st Kentucky Derbies. So I looked into that. The first one was in 1948, and the number one post won the Kentucky Derby. And then the pattern for each May 1st, so there's only been 10. So this will be the 11th May 1st Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
So the pattern for the years, though, was from 1948 to 54, it would be 6 years, then 11 years, then 6, then 5, then 6, then 11, then 6, 5, and then 6, and then this one will be the last one was 11 years ago on May 1st. So there's another 11 right there to fit in. And then there was two other posts with 15 posts that won. 1971, the 15 post won, like May 1st,
Mm-hmm.
And then 2004, the 15 post won. So, and I was one of the teams that wrote that number one post, which is the known agenda, will win because the first 10 in sequence already went through. So we're starting the 11th one. So who knows? Maybe that number one will win. Sounds like it could fit in, but But other than that, that's all I got right now.
Todd Pletcher, I think he's got 4 horses in this year's race, but yeah, he won the last one on May 1st, 2010. His horse name was Super Saver. There's a super stock in this one, SS. Okay, appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, have a good one.
All right, yeah. Have a good night. All right, La Abra. I think you called in earlier but didn't get through. La Abra? Or maybe they're just listening. Maybe that's what it was. Okay. And Denver, 720.
Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Hey, I was looking too, and I think you showed a video a long time with Bill Gates about those mosquitoes he's going to release.
Mosquito
And also,
week.
everyone's going to Florida. It's like a damn trap. I think just sound like cattle that get slaughtered down there when he launches these things. And I think he said in the month of May, correct?
Are you saying his mosquito week last year?
Yeah, you had the video. I saw it.
It was.
and I think
It was.
you
He
said
did
then
it
it's
right.
coming
It
in
was right
May.
after I finished the book. No, he did it in August 17th, 2020. That was the day that he introduced his mosquito week. Because I finished my book just weeks before that, and I was mad. I was like, God, I wish I would have finished the book. Now I want to put this in there. So.
Yeah, because if you think it's like a trap, everyone's set fleeing to Florida, and if you launch those damn things with that generic crap and everything else, I mean, that's an instant vaccination alone, you know? So who the hell knows what's going to be in those things?
Right.
So I was like, you know, I was just thinking about it. Now it's coming May, it's heating up. And I think even in Brazil, they have like another Zika virus type thing going on also, you know, down there already. So I wonder if that's the next part of their plan, you know, to launch these nasty creatures, you know, to do their work. So, yeah, it's a pretty sick world with Bill Gates, obviously.
Yeah, for people who didn't see the mosquito week video he put out last year, I'm sure it's still on his YouTube channel. And again, everybody should watch it. It's like, why would you ever release something like that, supposedly in the time of the pandemic as well? So.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to get warm, and obviously Florida, you know, the hot climate and water all over the place. I mean, God, you talk about another outbreak. I mean, that would definitely do it, you know. And I'm sure they're going to, you know, spiral a whole new thing. And there's already videos leaking on YouTube. It's like, why the hell does the government have these mosquitoes that they're just going to put out? What the hell's the purpose? So already people are leaking that out. So
You know what's messed up, man?
I just, you know, I just want to throw that out there.
I just went back to Bill Gates. I'm showing it on my channel right now, but I have it playing on mute. Bill Gates Mosquito Week video with the Mosquito Grim Reaper. But I just noticed YouTube has it with 13,000 dislikes, but 4.4K likes. I wonder how long it's been on that 4.4K for. That's a interesting number there. So.
Well, there's your 44. So
That's
that's
what
a
I'm
kill
saying.
shot,
It's
right?
just like, I'd like to know how long they've had it on that like count. I'm going to check back on it in a few days and see what it says. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I have, brother. It's good hearing from you. But, you know, it would make sense if you got everyone fleeing to Florida and they're pouring in, you know, like on the hour, you know.
Sure, just setting
if
the
you
trap.
want something like that, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be it's going to be a bad day for a lot of people, you know. And then they might migrate out of Florida, go somewhere else. So, so it's something, you know, very interesting to look into. What's to come, you know. So, all right, Zach, that's all I have, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, good thought. Thank you.
All right, bro.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, they're just putting in front of our face, like, where we're going. And it's not going to be nice. Let's go out to California. California, we got a couple minutes. 669?
Hello?
Yeah, it's you.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. I would just like to say that forced vaccination is rape.
It is. I think it is. Yeah, you're being penetrated and you don't want to be. Appreciate that.
That's all I wanted to say.
All right, thank you so much. You have a good night. Yeah, that is a message that a lot of people should be able to comprehend. 954, Florida? Florida, you're on.
All right, thank you so much.
Florida, 954, you're on. You're on delay. You just got to listen through the phone.
Oh, what's good?
Yeah,
Sorry
what's up?
about
Yeah, it's all right.
that. What up, Zach? How you been, man?
Doing well. How are you?
Been able,
Good, good. It's been a while since I called in. So, I want you to check out this. You got to check out this video really quick. It's not even 2 minutes long, and if you just type into the YouTube search bar 322 conspiracy, you'll find it. It's like I said, it's not even 2 minutes. And if you want to put it on right now, you could put it in 1.5 speed, and it'll be. But it's just hilarious.
322 conspiracy on YouTube.
Yeah.
Member of Ivy League secret society speaks out. Is that the video?
So the second video.
Here's the real story behind the 322 COVID conspiracy.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. All right, I'll look into that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Check it out, man. And other than that, I had something typed up, but I don't think I have it right now.
Just so people don't know, the Johns Hopkins has a lot to do with the agenda right now. It was founded by a Skull and Bones member, and they refer to their university as the Johns Hopkins University, which equals 322. So that's probably part of the joke of whatever that story is trying to cover up.
Sure. So if you type out the John Hopkins
It's
University,
Johns.
it equals 322.
It's Johns with a S, John.
John.
The Johns Hopkins
Right.
University, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all at that one.
Yeah.
So what is he, a chairman, you said, or something?
Who?
You said someone who sits on the board of
Johns Hopkins did the Event 201 and Claydex simulations. They're big planners in this whole thing.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm totally aware of that, but you're saying that somebody who sits on the board
it was founded by the Skull and Bones
in-
member. Johns Hopkins was founded by a Skull and Bones member. Daniel Coit Gilman. Daniel Coit Gilman.
Well, there you
Yeah. Hey, that's the end of the
Yeah,
show.
I'm sure
That's actually the end of the show right now, so we ran out of time.
Okay, well, shout out to everyone in the chat, everyone, all the family, Asif, Sebastian, Chigozi, Bryson, everybody, man, Markella, Natalie, Sonny, everybody. So, stay up. Love all y'all.
Appreciate it, man.
And, all right, Zach. Talk to you later, man.
Have a good night. Thank you. Okay, now what I'm going to do is Jonathan's got something he wants to share, so I'm going to reconnect with Jonathan here, and then I'm calling him right now. Let me turn that down for a second until he picks up. But Jonathan's got something he wants to share, so we'll go a little bit extra tonight. Oh. Okay, never mind. He just ran to the store real quick. He said he needs 10 minutes. Well, I'll wait for him then. I told Sweet Lady I wasn't going to stay on too much extra tonight, but we'll do a little bit extra for Jonathan. Let's read. Well, here. I wonder if I don't want to lose the whole video for playing somebody else's video and then they claim copyright. It's so stupid how stuff's like that. It's like YouTube with all your technology. If somebody shows a 30-second or minute-long thing in a 3-hour video and there's supposedly some big issue with that, why can't they just cut it out of your video instead of take down your whole video? It just seems ridiculous. But yeah, those types of things have happened too many times. That's why I don't like to show other stuff that often. But hold on, this Los Angeles story today, this Los Angeles shooting story, I just want to see if they put out any more information on this. So it looks like it was obviously a big story in LA, but I don't know if they covered it nationally yet. It's kind of interesting that with all the shooting press, you think that they'd make a bigger deal about a shooting in LA. 5 shootings, 2 deaths in LA tied to gunmen later killed in Fullerton shootout, police say. Okay. Oh, yeah, it looks like this actually happened yesterday, April 27th. After a series of 5 drive-by shootings that killed 2 people in Los Angeles early Tuesday, You know what? My guess about this already. April 27th was a date I had circled for news and sports, and this is the year of the 117th World Series, right? 117, and Dodgers is 117, the team in LA who's the defending champions of Major League Baseball right now. So I thought that this news, well, the first story I looked at was posted today on the 118th day of the year, but the shooting actually happened yesterday, the 117th day. My guess is this is a story that's tied into the sports season. And here, while we wait for Jonathan, I haven't even looked at the scores yet from yesterday's baseball games. I just know the Yankees won over the Orioles. But okay. I'm just looking at these records real quick. Indians beat the Twins 7-4. What is it again about? Indians is 47, so the Dodgers go down 4-7. And I forget if this next part is true. No. But yeah, Indians has that 47 connection like Ohio. But 4-7 game there. Pirates 2-1 over the Royals. I don't want to break down the score for each game. Alright. The Blue Jays got to 11-11 on the 117th day of the year. And that's interesting because Toronto is one of the teams with a 117 connection, since this is the year of the 117th World Series, and this happened on the 117th day of the year. They hit 11-11. You know what? They won 9-5 too. That's funny. I see what they did there with the 9-5 score. Some of these numbers I just know off the top of my head from doing this for so many years, but Blue Jays is 95. We've seen it all before. And okay, Red Sox get to 7-1 at home in the year that LeBron became part of the ownership by the numbers. Okay. I'm just seeing if any of these scores or records resonate with me on the 117th day of the year. The Rays have an interesting home record on that day. But yeah, you study little patterns like this and you figure out how they rig the games and the news. You can learn a lot from it, and you can even make a lot from it, as we've done for many a year. So, let's see. I'm not in my element right now either, because I have not really been following sports while I try to finish this latest book. It's funny though, as I'm writing the latest book, it's not good to have self-doubt, but it's just like, I've already written 2 good books, man, and they haven't hardly sold anything. It's like, but let's see, maybe the 3rd book will be the charm. Then again, I know I live in a society where people don't read. So, it's like, how do you reach people that don't want it? You don't. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. Us in the truth community, the reason that we're part of this community is because we're open to information and we're trying to find out things. Most people just don't want to know anything. They just want to be entertained and, make it through their slave job and eat something that tastes good. But that said, those of us who are awake and organized need to figure out how to organize those of us who are awake need to figure out how to organize a network better. Otherwise, we're going to go down with the sinking ship. But, yeah, there might be something more in these records than I'm seeing right now. Yeah, I was hoping somebody's record would be like somehow. I guess that's not a possible record at this point in the season. But I was hoping there'd be something real blatant and obvious. Okay. Here, while I wait for Jonathan, let me see what else is going on in the news right now. Biden proposes sweeping plan for America. The president pitched vastly expanding the reach of government with a more progressive agenda than his campaign suggested. Just what I need, more government. This story about the woman Karen Garner in Colorado again. You guys, the channels that are selling basement snacks to you and having an emotional response to the news, just so you know, those aren't truth channels. Those are called shills that are just trying to keep up with the news cycle and be like the news and sell stuff like the news. We've got a lot of frauds in our community People taken by Karen Garner stories and whatnot. But look at what a joke this whole Karen Garner thing is. 73-21. We already know what's up with that, but okay. This supposedly happened June 26th. June 26th. Or hold on, Jonathan's calling in. I might have to do Karen Gardner later. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? You still on?
Yeah, I'm still on.
Oh, okay. I got a lot to talk about, so I don't know if we might have to do a separate show.
Well, just do like the abbreviated version tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, the main bullet points, I guess.
All right. So tomorrow's the NFL draft.
Right.
So Kyle Pitts is the best tight end in the draft.
Okay.
And I want to point something out. You always talk about Manchurian athletes and how these athletes are born and bred to be. And so this is like the perfect example of a Manchurian athlete. So Kyle Pitts, he you know how they do the mock drafts? He's they're saying he's gonna go number 4. That's pretty high for a tight end. The 4th pick of the overall draft.
That's probably going to be the highest ever that a tight end's ever been drafted.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype around him. They're saying that
it makes sense though, because the tight ends become like the premier receiver position in football. It's like it's in a way it's like surpassed the wide receiver. It almost seems like so.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's like look at Travis Kelce, and Kittle from San Francisco. You know, they're like the most dominant tight ends ever.
Mm-hmm.
But with this Kyle Pitts, they're like really hyping him up. They're saying he's going to be the best tight end ever. But so check this out, right? His name is Kyle Pitts. He was born on 10/6/2000. So 106. And prophecy equals 106. And his name equals 106. Kyle Pitts. When you reverse the alphabet in reverse ordinal, Kyle Pitts equals 106. Prophecy 106. And he was born on 10/6. He's 6'6", 240 pounds. And he wore the number 84. So it's like the perfect size, right? 6'6", 240. He wore the number 84. And it's like the prototype, like this, like the prototypical size. He's from Philadelphia. As a freshman, he had 73 yards total. Philadelphia, PA equals 73, full reduction. He won the John Mackey Award. John Mackey Award equals 82. They're calling him a game changer. That equals 82. So they're saying he has the traits and talents to create mismatches similar to those created by Calvin Johnson and Tyreek Hill. His rare blend of size, athleticism, and ball skills are reminiscent of Megatron's.
He must be pretty fast if they're comparing him to a receiver.
Exactly. Yeah, he played for the Gators. And so that I just wanted to point that out. Like, it's just like he's the perfect size, perfect weight, born on the perfect day. His name is perfect in Gematria. So I just wanted to point that out. Now check this out, right? Like you always talk about how, you know how we always talk about the NFL as a family league, and you know, you have to be in the club to actually make it. Now my cousin Carlos Becker III, he played cornerback for Florida State for the last 4 or 5 years, and he was good, but he's not going to be drafted. And so I wanted to, since he played that position, I noticed that the cornerbacks that are going to be drafted, check this out, right? J.C. Horn, he's considered the best cornerback coming out. He's the son of former NFL player Joe Horn. So J.C. Horn is coming out. He's considered the best cornerback. Former son of NFL player Joe Horn. Patrick Surtain II is the son of Patrick Surtain Sr. And Patrick Surtain, the second played for Alabama. And the funny thing is he's from Plantation, Florida. Plantation, like how they're breeding these athletes. And Greg Newsome II is son to former NFL first-round pick and Packers cornerback Craig Newsome. And so that's Greg Newsome II. And then finally, the reason why I brought up Florida State is because, like I said, my cousin played for Florida State. He's not going to be drafted, but guess who will be drafted? Asante Samuel Jr. played for Florida State, and he's the son of former NFL player Asante Samuel. So that's 4 cornerbacks that are scheduled to come off the board in the first round tomorrow. They're all I don't know if they'll complete the first round by tomorrow, but I know it starts tomorrow. But by the end of the first round, you're going to have 4 cornerbacks off the board, right? And they're all former sons to former NFL players.
Yeah, it is, man. Father-son leagues. It's all in the family. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, wow, like what are the odds of that? I've never seen so many cornerbacks that, and that was just a little bit of it. I just looked a little bit of it. I just looked at it a little bit, and I just noticed those are just some things that I noticed just like off the top of my head. So, since the draft was tomorrow, I thought I'd bring that up. But check out what I found, right? Okay, so we know Mo3, the rapper from Dallas, he died last year on 11/11/2020. Right?
Right.
Now, Mo3 was affiliated with Boosie Badass.
Right.
So, and Mo3 has several record deals, including one with Boosie Badass Music Syndicate. He was often referred to as the Boosie of Dallas. And check this out. He claims that growing up, Boosie was his favorite rapper. But then when Boosie started hearing his music, he became Boosie's favorite rapper. So the last album they came out with a collaboration album on Boosie's Badass Music Syndicate. So the last album that he came out with when he was alive is called Badass Mo3. Now check this out. This is what I found, right? So Mo3 died on 11/11/2020, and he's affiliated with Boosie Badass. And check out what I found out on 11/11/2019. Badass, the rapper who's affiliated with the Dog Pound Gangsta Crips, died. So what's interesting about this is that you get Badass, which is affiliated with the Crips. He dies on 11/11/2019. He's affiliated with the Dog Pound Crips. And then exactly a year later, you get a Blood rapper, Mo3 was a Blood, that dies, and he was affiliated with Boosie Badass.
I see. A Crip and a Blood with a Badass connection. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's just... check this out. Okay, so Boosie Badass equals 199, which is the 46 prime number. Sacrifice 46, Rap 46. And so when Daz Dillinger, who's a part of the Dog Pound, announced that Badass died, he was 46 years old at the time. And Daz is a member of the Dog Pound. Crip equals 46. Dog Food equals 46, which is their most well-known album, Dog Food. And Corrupt, the other member of the Dog Pound, he was also 46 when they announced that Badass died. And then exactly 1 year later, you get the death of Mo3, who's affiliated with Boosie Badass. So just real quick. I'll give you the Shock G stuff.
Okay.
All right, Shock G was a rapper that was born in Brooklyn, New York. His name was Gregory Jacobs. He was a co-founder and leader of the group Digital Underground, and he performed as Shock G and Humpty Hump. He's dead at 57 years old. A clear Super Bowl 55 ritual. He was found dead on 4/22/2021. Entertainer equals 57. Greg Jacobs, 57. Greg Jacobs was his real name. Conspiracy, 57. Scottish Rite, 57. In recent years, we've seen the deaths of the entertainers Prince and Charlie Murphy at 57 years old. Digital Underground's first album is called Sex Packets. Sex Packets equals 57.
That's it right there, man. It's always like that. It's like their most remembered work or their first work. Their number will always connect back. Did you say Greg Jacobs equals 57 too, his birth name?
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah, and his
Yep.
dad's name equals 57 too.
Right, Edward Raker equals 57, his dad's name. And his dad is who allegedly reported the death, and his dad is who allegedly brought him in the entertainment business, because he was already in the entertainment business, and he brought Shock G into the business. And so Shock has 5 letters, and G is the 7th letter, so another 57 right there, right?
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's a good observation.
Yeah, and there's no coincidence he's dead at 57. In 3 weeks, we have witnessed the deaths of 3 well-known rappers from New York: DMX, Black Rob, and now Shock G. Tupac Shakur was also born in Brooklyn, and he was in the group Digital Underground. The way Tupac was introduced to the world was on the song Same Song. He's introduced as a king as he gets carried in and starts rapping. What's interesting to note is that he would become the king of hip-hop in the 90s. April 22nd is the 112th day of the year. Shock G is from Brooklyn. In Gematria, Brooklyn equals 112. Mathematics, 112. Catholicism, 112. Judaism, 112. Zionist, 112. The Jesuits were created by Jews who converted to Catholicism. Catholic equals 145. Israel was created on 14/5, kind of like 145. Gregory Jacobs, Shock G's real name, equals 145. Okay, so he's found dead in a hotel in Tampa, where the Super Bowl was this year. Super Bowl's 112. All of Brooklyn's zip codes start with 112. It's a date with 67 numerology as well. Then we know the 67s: blood sacrifice, human sacrifice, satanic, soul. P-Funk equals 67. And Digital Underground was given credit for keeping P-Funk alive in their music. You still with me, right?
Uh-huh. I was just going to make the point also, if you don't have this one, he died on his 241st day of his age, which is the 53rd prime, and then his other alias, Humpty Hump, is 53, like Tampa, Florida, where he died. Also like Vesica Pisces, because again, that's the shape of the football, big number at the NFL, because this was definitely synced up with the Super Bowl. But a lot of the headlines emphasize Humpty Hump when he died, and he died on the perfect day as Humpty Hump. It's amazing how they line up all this stuff. But go ahead, keep going, man.
Yeah. Now, I was going to get to that too. Now, 67th is the 19 prime number. Tom Brady beat Missouri in Super Bowls 36 and 55, which is 19 years apart. Shock G is found dead 74 days after the Super Bowl was played.
Hold on. Okay,
Yeah.
He beat the Rams when they were in Missouri in Super Bowl 36, and then he beat the Rams again when they were in LA in Super Bowl 53. And,
Oh, yeah.
All of it just fits together perfectly. It's just ongoing ritual.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about the Rams in LA, but I forgot they were St. Louis too.
Yeah.
Okay, so Digital Underground's second album is called Sons of the P. Sons of the P equals 47.
Huh.
P for P-Funk. Now check this out. This is a good part. Chop Master J, a co-founder of the group, equals 47. Just like their second album equals 47.
Uh-huh.
So Chop Master J, 47. Human Sacrifice, 86. Blood Sacrifice, 86. The Body Hat Syndrome equals 86 in full reduction. The Body Hat Syndrome is Digital Underground's third album. And of course, he was 86th. His birth name has fateful gematria. Gregory Jacobs equals 206. Sacrifice equals 206 in Jewish. Gregory Jacobs equals 64. Kill, 64. Synagogue of Satan, 64. Do What You Like was their first single that was released in 89. Do What You Like equals 64 and 206. Their breakthrough single was the Humpty Dance. The Humpty Dance equals 64. He died on his 231st day of his age, the 53rd prime. And you mentioned this already. Vesica Pisces, 53. 53-man roster in the NFL. He was found dead in Tampa, Florida, equals 53. A 53-yard wide field in the NFL. His alter ego was Humpty Hump, equals 53. And check this out, right, Zach? On June 13, 2017, when Shock G was 53 years old, he was arrested on suspicion of drug paraphernalia possession.
That's the day leaving 201 days left in the year.
Oh, I gotta add that. Drug paraphernalia possession equals 131 in full reduction. 57 equals 131. Championship equals 131. Super Bowl equals 131. And like we mentioned, this was a sacrifice for Super Bowl 55. 131 and 57 are the numbers that have to do with championships. He died at 57. Check this out, right? So he was 53 years old when he got arrested. In 2017, the New England Patriots were the Super Bowl champions. And this is the year he got arrested. In 2017, he was arrested in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Rice Lake equals 53. Rice Lake. Shock G helped produce Tupac's 91 debut album, Tupacalypse Now. Tupacalypse Now equals 53. So you see how it's becoming a 53 fest?
That's the big number with, that's the real birthday of Machiavelli, May 3rd, 5-3.
Oh, I gotta add that too. Okay. So notice his birthday was August 25th. Rambo touched on this a little bit. August 25th, or if you reverse it, it's 25/8, kind of like 258. Number of the beast equals 258. He was born in New York, right? But he grew up in Tampa, which I'm going to get to in a second. But eventually he moved to Oakland, and then eventually he called Oakland his home. But he actually grew up in Tampa. So Oakland, California equals 74. He introduced the world to Tupac Shakur, Tupac 74, Machiavelli 74, Holiday Killing, Cross, Jesus, Messiah, Gospel, Parables, Masonic, Jewish, Occult, English, Gematria, and Money B all equals 74. Now, Money B is the other member of Digital Underground. Money B equals 74 in English ordinal. Remember, all roads lead to Rome equals 74. Now, 34 years ago, in 1987, the group was formed. Recall what the number 34 is about. Rapper equals 34, murder equals 34.
That was a huge number. That was a huge number with the Super Bowl, though, too, because LV, in Roman numerals, is 55, but in English, L is 12 and V is 22, 34, and Brady picked up his 34th playoff win in Super Bowl LV. So.
And to add to the 34, Shock G died 34 weeks after his birthday.
Yeah.
So time equals 25. Death equals 25. Shock G introduced the world to Tupac, who died at 25 years old. And 25 years later, Shock G is dead. Right?
Right.
Money B is the only member of the group along with Shock G to appear on every album. Money B also equals 25.
Did you mention that Tupac died at 25 and then he died 25 years later?
I mentioned that, yep.
Yeah, and death is 25, yeah.
Times 25. So, check this out, right? Kenneth Waters, better known by his stage name Kenny K, was an American DJ and radio host from Tampa, Florida. He co-created the hip-hop group Digital Underground. Kenny K, that's Choutmaster J's real name, right? Check this out, right? This is how it's all going to come together. American DJ and radio host from Tampa, Florida, who co-created Digital Underground, Kenny K. He co-created the hip-hop group Digital Underground. Kenny K died on 2/5/1994. 2/5 is kind of like 25. Kenny K and Shock G both died in Tampa. Right? Recall, 2/5/2017.
And Tampa Bay is 25.
Oh, I got to throw that in there. I have to throw that in there. Recall, on 2/5/2017, the same year Shock G got arrested in Wisconsin for drug paraphernalia possession, which equals 131. Recall, on 2/5/2017, the Patriots beat the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl. This was the NFL's 97th season, and 97 is the 25th prime number. This was the year the NFL moved the touchbacks to the 25-yard line, and the Patriots also came back and won the game after being down by 25 points.
Yeah.
From the day Kenny K died until the day Shock G died is 27 years and 77 days. Shock G equals 27 in 2 out of 4 ciphers, right? 27 in
Right.
2 out of the 4 ciphers. Ritual equals 27. Tampa, Florida sits on the 27th parallel north. Shock G produced Tupac's breakthrough single, I Get Around. I Get Around equals 57, just like Shock G's dead at 57. Conspiracy's 57. That single, I Get Around, came out 27 years ago. House of Blackness. House of Blackness equals 86. And House of Blackness was the name of Kenny Key's Saturday night hip-hop show in Tampa. It's interesting to note the gematria of the name of this show as it relates to all the other 86s that I mentioned earlier. So the House of Blackness equals 86. Shock G also produced the song So Many Tears by Tupac. This is one of Tupac's biggest songs. So Many Tears equals 42. And now watch this. With Money B, the other member of the Digital Underground, Money B's real name is Ronald Brooks. And it's a perfect match with Jesuit Order in 3 out of 4 ciphers. Ronald Brooks, 144, 54, and 72. Jesuit Order, 144, 54, and 72. Shock G grew up in New York City and Tampa, Florida. Shock G's idea of what he wanted the group to be was very militant, a tribute to the Black Panthers. But as Public Enemy started to blow up, Shock G decided to take the group in a more playful direction. So people affiliate Digital Underground with this playful, which this is what they came out to be, a playful group. Humpty Hump was all about having fun, right? But his original idea was the group was supposed to be very militant. And this is what I wrote here, right? This was the beauty of hip hop at this time. No one was allowed to sound like anyone else. So when Public Enemy started to blow up, he took the whole group in another direction. So this was considered biting, which is to take someone else's style, floor, or rhymes. So his idea was to be like a Public Enemy type group, a Black Panther type group. But he didn't want to do that because at the same time, Public Enemy was blowing up. So number of the beast equals 66, drug addiction 66, king 66. Notice that the last 3 big name rappers were all portrayed by the media to be addicted to drugs, specifically crack cocaine. Crack cocaine equals 86. The media mentioned that all 3 rappers, DMX, Black Rob, and Shock G, struggled with drugs. instead of portraying these black men as the kings they were, the media wants you to remember them as drug addicts. Black Rob and Shock G were both homeless for a period. Keep in mind, this is after the fame. So this is how, like they build these celebrities up, right? DMX, Black Rob, Shock G, all these people, they had a lot of fame. But now as they go towards the end of their life, the media wants you to think about them as drug addicts. They want you to, as they're dying, or they're dead now, but as they're dead, they want you to think of them as drug addicts. They don't want you to think about all the music that they made, the good contributions they made to hip hop. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Going out on a low note. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, it's, like, I'll give you a little bit of this Black Rob stuff.
Hey, I gotta ask also, before you do Black Rob, did you watch the memorial for DMX?
I watched bits and pieces. I didn't watch much of it.
Well, I'll tell you what. The person who spoke, I had it on pretty much the whole time. I didn't always have my eyes on the screen because it was playing in the background while I was working, but I kept flipping over and watching certain things. But the rapper Dragon, and I'd forgotten his name, but then I remembered his name when I heard it. But he was the only one of those people that spoke really to me. Well, I shouldn't say the only one, but just out of the rappers, he was the only one who spoke who actually seemed like he was sincere and sad. And he expressed several times over that without DMX, he would have been a nobody and his whole life would have been nothing. And he kept making that point. And I suppose he's probably the least famous out of all the rappers that were up on the stage there. But just like the only one that came across as like genuine and actually sad about DMX's passing. Did you catch that part?
I did not know. I'm gonna pull it up though.
Yeah, Nas was the first one to speak. He kind of came out, and then it was hard to tell who it was because he had a hat on and he was down. But then he said peace, and then when you heard his voice, everybody just knows his voice. His voice is distinct, and everybody react. But I thought what Nas said was pretty weak, and it was probably hard to be inspired because I'm pretty sure I think the sacrifice has a lot to do with him. A lot.
It does. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I heard I saw the Nas clip, and like the first thing he's like, oh, we made a great movie together. Like that's the first.
That's
thing
what he talked about, Belly. But that was one of our first thoughts when he died too. Was just that movie. So
that's true.
Yeah, he mostly talked about that and how he got to meet DMX before he was super famous, but he could tell that. I mean, what he said was nice about him. I guess that he could tell that he was going to be like I forget how he put it, but still, it just. I don't know. I didn't like hear any sadness in his words or anything, but the one that seemed like legitimately sad was the rapper Dragon. So,
interesting.
He just paid a lot of respect. He didn't say anything about himself or brag anything. He just said, he just paid his respects. No, I didn't feel like anybody else really did that in their way. It was like sorta, but I don't know.
But,
yeah, if you
not
watch
really,
it,
yeah. So. So Black Rob was a rapper who was born in Buffalo. He was born on July 12th, 69. This date has numerology of 107, ritual sacrifice 107. He died on the 107th day of the year, April 17th, 2021. The Black Rob Report, his second and last album on Bad Boy, is 1 hour and 7 minutes long. 107 is the 28 prime number. Black Rob equals 28. Kill 28. Man 28. Chosen 28. He was the man at Bad Boy in the year 2000. His hit single Whoa equals 47. And the song is exactly 4 minutes and 7 seconds long. Drop the 0 and you get a 47. Time 47. Beast 47. Whoa released on the 46th day of the year. When he started his rap career, he went by the rap name Bacardi Rob. Bacardi Rob equals 46, just like his single dropped on the 46th day of the year. Sacrifice 46, Catholic 46, Rap 46. Whoa was released as a single on 2/15/2000. a date with 37 date numerology. His debut album, Life Story, was released on 3/7/2000, kind of like 37. Tragedy, 37. Killed, 37. Killed equals 37. Chosen One, 37. Genocide, 37. 3/7/2000 is the 67th day of the year. Blood Sacrifice, 67. Human Sacrifice, 67. Robert Ross, 67, which is his real name, right? Black Rob and DMX are both features on the song.
His name Robert Ross is 121 and 67, like Blood Sacrifice, and he died 86 days from his birthday. So he had, in his ritual, he covered 3 out of the 4 values of that phrase.
Right. Black Rob and DMX, they're both features on the song 24 Hours to Live, which was released in 97, 24 years before 2021. They're both dead. And like you just said, Black Rob died 86 days before his birthday. Blood Sacrifice, 86. Human Sacrifice, 86. His real name, like you just mentioned, Robert Ross, 121. Blood Sacrifice, 121. He also died on a date with 62 and 42 numerology. Sacrifice equals 62. Faustian bargain equals 62. So, and of course, DMX overdosed late on April 2nd or 4/2.
Yeah.
So Black Rob's debut album is called Life Story, which equals 51. Like his age of death. Conspiracy equals 51. His second biggest single is called Can I Live? Can I Live equals 51. And the way I wrote it is, yes, you can. You can live, but only for 24 years. After the song 24 Hours to Live came out.
Yeah.
That's the name of his second biggest single, Can I Live, which equals 51.
Yeah, it's really messed up what they do.
Yeah, it's sick. When Rob was in his early 20s, he formed his first rap group, the Schizophrenics. The Schizophrenics equals 97 and 83. Death is 97. Notorious is 97. The Notorious Big was on Bad Boy Records, just like Black Rob, and he died in 97. Of course, Murder is 83.
Yeah.
Now, Robert Ross equals 50, and DMX died at 50. Two of the biggest rappers in America. America equals 50. Two of the biggest rappers in America in the early 2000s. They had a reputation for smoking crack cocaine. Crack cocaine equals 50. They're both on the song 24 Hours to Live. When you write out 24, that equals 50. In full reduction. So when you write out 24, that's 50. And they're both dead 24 years later. His single Whoa peaked at number 43 on the Billboard Hot 100. Killing 43, RIP 43, Masonic 43, Program 43. So the single Whoa peaked at number 43. And on Black Rob's last album, he has a feature.
I'm pretty sure all the numbers that they report, even for like where record sales are and supposedly what's up there, I think a lot of times it's not true either. I don't believe that song only peaked at 43 because
exactly.
I remember when that song was new, that was like a song where everyone was playing it everywhere all all the time. So
the song was all over the fucking place. How could it peak?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's impossible because I was even like traveled around like the West Coast at that time, and it was just playing everywhere. So
okay, in '97, I was in.
And we're on the West Coast. He's an East Coast artist. I mean, if it's playing everywhere on the West Coast, that should tell you how it's doing on the East Coast.
Exactly. No, but not only that, but in '97, I was in Wisconsin and I was in Miami. Right? Those were the two places I was in 1997. That song was all over the radio in Miami and in Wisconsin. Out of all places, Madison, Wisconsin. Wisconsin. It was on the radio in Madison, Wisconsin. Didn't even have a hip hop station in '97, and that song was all. I'm talking about that song was not just played on hip hop stations. That song was played. That when you talk about a song that crossed over, that song crossed over.
Yeah,
And it's not,
43 doesn't make. I'm saying it's outright impossible that it was 43. There weren't 40 some other songs bigger than that song at the time. There just weren't, because I mean the song was popular. It wasn't just popular for like a week either. It was probably like really popular for about 6 months. I would say, just playing it everywhere. You just everyone driving by playing it. You're in a parking lot, someone's playing it. You just hear the song everywhere. So
if you ask me, that was the song of the year in the year 2000. I can't think of a bigger song than that.
It was a really big song at the time. That's why when you just said that 43, I'm thinking, no way, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and so on Black Rob's last album, he has a feature from Sean Price, who died at 43. Just to add to the other 43s, the Black Rob Report, which was his second album, came out on a date with 43 numerology. Rob's only solo single to reach the Hot 100 was Whoa. He grew up in Harlem. Harlem is 57 and 30. The first time most people heard Black Rob was on Mace's album Harlem World. Harlem World is 57, just like Harlem is 57. Harlem World is 57, that's where the song with 24 Hours to Live is on the Harlem World album.
Right.
So Harlem World's 57, Harlem 57. The next big name rapper to die in 2021 would be Shock G at age 57. Conspiracy's 57. And like I said, he grew up in Harlem. The N-word and Harlem equals 30. The N-word equals 30. Slavery equals 30. And Rob made 2 appearances on Cruise. There was a rap group named Crew. And he made 2 appearances on Cru's 1997 album, The Dirty 30. That's the name of the album, The Dirty 30, to go along with those other 30s I just mentioned, right? And Black Rob's on 2 of those songs on the album called The Dirty 30 by Crew. He also has a song called Y'all Know Who Killed Him, and it features the Notorious Big, right? Y'all Know Who Killed Him equals 98 in full reduction, and it features the Notorious Big. Chosen equals 98. Chosen 1 equals 98. So, that's big to get a Biggie feature. Now watch this, right? His third album, Game Tested, Streets Approved, equals 139. And remember, we talked about how big 139 is with rappers, right? So his third album, but he's off Bad Boy by now, right? He only came out with 2 albums on Bad Boy. Now his third album, he's off of, he's with Duck Down now. So his third album, Game Tested, Streets Approved, equals 139. Tupac Shakur equals 139. Freemasonry, 139. America, 139. Jerusalem, 139. This album is 50 minutes long to correspond with the other 50s I talked about earlier. This album came out on Duck Down Music. Duck Down Music Inc. equals 93. Godson 93. Crucifix 93. Saturn 93. They tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. This album, the third album, Game Tested, Streets
Hold
Approved.
on. Wait, did you just mention how he was sentenced to jail on the 93rd day of 2006?
Oh, I didn't put that. Oh, I didn't add that. That's a good one.
So that's the same day we got the news about DMX being in a vegetative state. April 3rd is the same day that Black Rob was sent to prison in 2006. So both of them on the 93rd day of the year. And then they end up dying 24 years after their song, 24 Hours to Live.
So that's he went to jail. Okay. So now this album, Game Tested, Streets Approved, his third album. He only came out with 4 albums. It peaked at number 44 on the Billboard Top R&B Hip Hop albums. 44. And in 2011, Black Rob also started his own independent label, which this album came out on. Right? So the album peaks at number 44. He comes out with his own label called Box in 1. Box in 1 equals 44. Full reduction. Kill 44. Execution 44. Deceased 44. His last album, Genuine Article, came out on 4/21/2015. from this day until the day he died is 5 years and 11 months and 27 days. 5 years, 11 months, 27 days. Saturn equals 511. 511 connects to Saturn, the keeper of time. Saturn is important to their rituals. He was born in Buffalo. Buffalo equals 27. So it's the perfect birthplace for the ritual. Ritual 27. The first song I heard Black Rob on was 24 Hours to Live, and the song is about time. His last album came out on Slim Style Records. Slim Style Records equals 216, 72, and 216 again. So 216 and 2 out of the 4 ciphers. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. And hip hop equals 72, just like Slim Style Records. Now this is the part where I got but I need to add that he went to jail on the 93rd day of the year. But this is the part I wrote about him in jail. He spent 4 years in prison in connection with a hotel robbery in 2004.
It was on November 22nd, 11/22.
He caught a charge of grand larceny in which he pleaded guilty to criminal possession of more than $6,000 worth of jewelry stolen in a hotel. And interesting that he had a multi-platinum single. You know, Walt went like 3 times platinum. And he had a platinum album with Life Story, but yet he still had to steal.
It's because they didn't pay him all the money he really made off that song. They told him he was number 43 when he was number 1. So
Exactly. I think that's a really good point. Like how? That's just like impossible. Like,
yeah, it doesn't make sense. He must have even been like, man, my song's got to be hotter than that. I just went around the whole country. It was playing everywhere. So
yeah. And just to wrap it up, I'm just giving you the short version. All right, so Cam Coldheart was a rapper from North Carolina. He's dead at 33 years old. He died on a date with 33 date numerology. He's dead on 4/24/2021, 4 days ago. There's a speculation that he was drugged at the club the night before. His real name is Cameron Devon Hennigan, which equals 330. Drop the zeros, another 33. His first name is Cameron, equals 33. He's a North Carolina rapper. North Carolina rapper equals 222. He went viral when he had a fight with the baby on 5/23/2020. This date left 222 days left in the year. And if he got drugged, it happened the night before he died, which was 4/23/2020. When you write out April 23rd, it equals 222 when you write it out. Right?
Right.
Order out of chaos equals 222. And the baby is a rapper that represents North Carolina, just like Cam Coldheart. His cause of death has yet to be determined. And the other 222 is as above, so below, equals 222. So Cam Coldheart, okay, so now my sister, she grew up in Charlotte. We were all born and raised in Miami, but then we all went different places. So my sister knew Cam Coldheart because he's from Charlotte. And it's interesting it has that name, right? Cam Coldheart, kind of like Cam Newton. I think that's kind of like, has a relationship right there, you know? Cam Newton, the former quarterback of the Panthers. So my sister went to high school with him, right? Cam Coldheart. And so, you know, I told her, hey, I'm writing this book. What do you know about him? And according to what she told me, there's a bad batch of cocaine going around in Charlotte. And so this is just, of course, it's just rumors. So there's speculations that he was at this club and he got a batch of this bad coke that's going around in Charlotte. And so that's the rumor. They're saying he got drugged the night before. And April 23rd equals 222. Just to add to all those other 222s that I was just talking about. So that's the story. And it's crazy that he went viral. So he ran across a baby and supposedly the baby knocked him out. you know, and you can look this up, but he went viral after he got knocked out by the baby. So that's like how that's like his claim to fame. I mean, which is kind of fucked up, but
his initial CC, dead at 33. See the third letter.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
I see his full name, Cameron Devon Hennigan's 330. It's also got that 93 in it.
330, right. So drop the 0, that's another 33. So that's just the latest rapper to die. And that was 4 days ago. And but you know, but what I just think is interesting is, just to go back to Digital Underground, is that two of the main member, Shock G, grew up in Tampa. And he was Shock G was obviously the leader and the co-founder. And then Chop Master J was from Tampa as well. And Chop Master J died on 2/5/94. And you know, and they both died in Tampa. I never knew that Digital Underground had so much of a relationship with Tampa.
I didn't realize that either. Had we known that, we probably would have known for Shock G to be on the lookout after the whole ritual this year. I never knew that until tonight.
Yeah, it's just interesting when I'm finding out. Like and the other thing is, okay, Mo3 dies. He's affiliated with Boosie Badass. He dies on 11/11/2020, and exactly a year prior, Badass, the rapper from the Dog Pound, dies.
Yeah, patterns.
You know, so that was it. That was the short version of it. I know that was kind of long, but I got more. But that's pretty much it. Because I know you've been on here for a minute, so.
Yeah, we can leave it there for tonight, but we'll do another show soon and get caught up on the rest. But I appreciate it. Great research, Jonathan.
Yep. I got a lot more, so we'll get back together. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me come on this late.
Yeah, and everybody, Jonathan's got his own channel too. One Infinite Space Consciousness, and notice the ones with a number. Number 1 Infinite Space Consciousness, and yeah, be sure to subscribe. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, and have a good rest of your night.
All right, peace.
All right, take care,
Thanks,
man.
bro.
Yeah, see you.
All right.
And as for everybody else, I appreciate you too, but I'm going to leave it right there because I am hungry, and I'm going to blame that on the gummy as well. So, plus I told Sweet Lady I wouldn't be on too late, so we're only an hour over right now, which isn't too bad. All right, until next time, Truth Seeker.